right now when we start cracking on here right now. They're going to be like, there they are. There they are. All right. We're getting situated over here, homeboys. Shit, man, a lot of flack. You guys got fans, boy. Fans are enemies. I don't know. What do we call them right now, man?
Those are the boys right there.
Those are the homeboys right there.
that's
Those are the
homies.
homeboys.
Yeah.
Already. Urban Bagger Society, good homeboy of mine as well, man. He's over
Homie.
here. He's on. Well, he said he's going back to watch Paw Patrol and shit, man. Fuck it. I'm gonna go back inside right now with my 2-year-old, my 1-year-old when I'm done with this and watch Paw Patrol my fucking self, man. So
I feel it.
yeah. So welcome, boys. Like I told you, we Mexican, man. We run late. It's just we got Mexican time, man. That's how we roll around
it's
here.
always
We
going
made
to
it.
be
We
10,
made it.
15 minutes late.
Always, yeah. You tell us 7, expect 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's how the shit rolls around here, man. So, well, thank you guys for making the drive down and filling the spot, man. Like I just had a last minute cancellation, and I've had them in the past where it's like last minute, and I was all like focused on that podcast. But I like when these happen because they happen like the conversation's way more organic. I'm not like trying to maneuver around anything or figure out what we're going to talk about and shit, man. It's just kick back, hang out, bullshit and shit, man. And I've been watching both of you guys for a minute, man. Just fan. I like cool shit. Is really what it boils down to. So, let me have you guys. I don't want to speak for you guys. Let me have you guys kind of introduce yourself. Right here to my right, who do I got?
I'm Reckless Ruben, Strive for Glory.
Right
It's my
on.
clothing brand. And
Reckless Ruben. Is that the legal name?
no,
I just messing with you, man.
Just a little
But
fun.
that's how you
Yeah.
referred to yourself. That's how
Yeah.
people know you, Reckless Ruben, man.
on my knuckles.
Is it on your knuckles too?
Yeah.
Attaboy, that's it. So it's branded. It's branded
he's
on you,
brand
man.
with it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. And the homie.
I'm Jaime, Luna Vision, whatever you want to call me. But I'm ultimately a videographer and, up and coming, I would say, new in the motorcycle scene, I guess.
Okay.
But just, pretty
But
hungry.
You've been around it for a long time.
Yeah, I've been around, but I've been on.
Just a little bit.
I've been, pushing it hardcore since like my motorcycle accident because
Okay.
you have a life-changing experience. You come back and you kind of you appreciate things a little more, and you just kind of I'm not wasting any time anymore. So
Absolutely.
it's definitely like been an uptick, or like I kind of like made a splash within the last like 3-4 months.
Okay.
I would say.
Well, welcome back then, or welcome
Yeah.
welcome to the pool. I guess is that what we say? Welcome to the party, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, we'll dive into all that stuff. I'm excited to hear about it. I know you gave me a little bit about Ruben. I'm just through Bianca, actually. Bianca has been a pretty, just a good piece of the puzzle when it's come to the podcast and stuff. She introduced me to Amin over there at TM Law and kind of, introduced us and me to him. And I got to explain to him like what my vision and what my goal is and stuff. So, I see Bianca doing work. She's done some good things. I know she's helped you out. I know you work with her just
Yep.
recently as well. So it's always nice to have a good like mutual friend that, you can kind of kick things off and know that like believes in what you're doing and supports in what you're doing. Cause that means a lot. That's what for me keeps the fire fucking kind of lit, in what you're doing.
And she's just really supportive, and
Yeah.
not just on the business end, but as a friend as well.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
she's good people.
She's
and
good people.
she's,
Yeah.
with hooking us up with TM Law, it really
Well, Amin
helped
and
us
his
out
team
a lot.
over there are good
Yeah.
people, man. I've been
Yeah.
down to the office. I've
Really
only been
solid.
down there once. But when I was down there, man, that office was humping. That office was busy. They were constantly like, okay, got to stop, got to go handle it.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, like I should have come down here at a better time. And then Bianca was like, there is no better time. It's just this is the way that it is.
It's just-
I was telling Jaime last time I was over there, Amin was talking to me and Bianca, and he has like this phone over here. He's got this one. He's grabbing this one. He's talking to this guy, and he knows exactly what's going on. He's not missing a beat on anything.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. He's a good guy. He's got his hands in a lot of stuff. Always going. The first time I met Amin was over at Mohole and Harley Davidson.
Okay.
Bianca was like, hey, come over, meet Ray. He wants to talk to you about the podcast a little bit, what they got going on and stuff. And from there, I'm like, this is a good dude. The guy came, he's serious about what he's doing and stuff. He came all the way from where he was to this Mohole and bike night to meet me and kind of talk. And then, he's good team over there, man. Good people to have. So, a little plug for Amin, of course. If you personal injury related stuff, man, make sure you go hit him up.
We
They'll
got a
take care of
client
you.
right here.
Hey,
We got a client.
I'm
you're
using
on-
it right now. So I could testify for that. I'm currently, working that out right now. Obviously, my situation happened in July of last year. So, you know, pretty recent.
Okay.
Wouldn't really get to tell. Like, nobody really notices too much now because I made like a pretty, really good recovery.
Good.
Coming from with the accidents that I got, you know, it's definitely a good recovery. So
Good, man.
I'm pretty
Good.
happy and blessed.
Well, they'll take care of you over there. You know.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't want you to say anything. Maybe you should, if it's.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Yeah, you already
I don't
know
want
how
you to
that
do
goes. Yeah, you know how that goes. So yeah, no, but most definitely good people. They're, you know, they've taken care of me along the process. And you know, if you ever get into anything, definitely people who
For
I would
sure.
recommend to hit up for sure, because you know they'll just walk you through the whole process.
That's the get down. They know the process. They know the drill. They know. My mama. Bye, mom. See you later. My mama. Yeah, definitely good to have people on your side that know the process, that know what they need to do, and kind of, you know, there's when it comes to that type of stuff, unfortunately, there is a legality part. There's a legal portion of it.
Yep.
There's some things that you should say, some things you shouldn't say, places you shouldn't go, places you should go,
Yeah.
things of that sort. No, and it's a shitty thing to sometimes be in, but it's always comforting to know that you got a good team on your side to walk you through it.
I talked to him that morning of his accident, and I called Bianca, let her know what was going on, and she got the ball rolling. But
Right
without
away.
even talking to him, she found out where he was, what room he was in, and she was on
On it.
top of it.
Yeah,
on
she
top
she
of
was
it.
good. You know, she goes above and beyond, especially because we're like, again, more of a personal level.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's, you know, it's more than that. And, you know, that's kind of our relationship. We already had it and started building it from before that. You know, that just obviously, you know, brought it a little closer to home. And, you know,
watered the flower even
Oh,
that much
most
more.
def-
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel
So,
you. I feel you.
shout out
man.
to Bianca and
Yes,
TM Law.
Yes,
all the people
absolutely,
out there.
absolutely, man. So your guys is like we're talking about a crash. We're getting ahead of it a little bit here. You know, we're teasing it. That's what we call it in the business. We call it teasing. That's what we're doing. But you guys on a riding aspect, because I mean, you guys are cool. You're good looking. You know, cool to talk to and everything. But I'm a motorcycle guy. If you can't tell, I got a few sitting here. I got one half taken apart back here. You know,
Sexy
I got
ass
two more
bagger.
in the
Yeah.
back. I'm a motorcycle guy, man. So
I love it.
that's like what I want to talk to most people about. Are you riding right now, Ruben? Not riding
No,
right
no.
now.
No.
Riding history, riding past,
Interested in?
Yes. Never dip your toe into the pool or anything.
I've gotten close.
Okay.
I didn't
Dirt
work out.
bikes or anything like that?
A
Quads?
little bit of dirt bike.
Okay. All right.
Nothing really. It's my dad rides.
Okay.
His stepdad rode, and his stepdad's brother rode. My uncle.
Okay.
They were like old school bikers. They both passed since now.
Oh.
So
Sorry to hear that.
old school,
I feel you, man.
rigid, fucking
Yeah. That's how I got into
Kickstart.
it, man. My old man was that's how my old man was, man. Just old dirty biker. You know, I guess
Yeah.
is what they referred to back in the day, you know,
Yeah.
and he lived that lifestyle and lived that way. And I remember watching him going, oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Dirty jeans,
That's it,
big
man.
ass, gnarly hands,
Yeah.
dirty beard, gray beard, white shirt, dirty,
Yep.
cigarette, beer.
Bike and if it wasn't my dad with that, it was his friends or something, you know. It was just and it was always interesting to me. I'm like, yeah, these guys look like rough and tough dudes. Like, yeah, we do. We got, like I've said it before, you got tats on the neck, you know, we look like rough and tough dudes. But I remember as a little kid being around that and stuff. Yeah, these guys look like, don't fuck with these guys, don't mess with them. But those dudes they took me under
Take care
their
of you.
wing, man. They showed me like, hey, if you need something to eat, you need something to drink.
They'll
you-
take care of it real good.
Absolutely, man.
Good
The
people, yeah.
the biker people, man, I've
Yeah.
said it before. I will never stop saying it and reaffirming it that they're just the most giving type of people out there, man. There's something about them, man. It's something about the motorcycle, I think, man. I think there's just something about being free, being on the bike and stuff that I don't know, just kind of puts you in that element, in that zone and shit. But we're gonna get you on two wheels, man. At some
Oh,
point,
yeah,
we're gonna get
I've
you.
been trying to, man. I've been trying, you know. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So
If there's a bike that, like right now, if you were to buy one today, is there something that you've kind of just looked at, like that's your style, that you get down? Are you a bagger person, no bagger, low and slow, fast?
this guy looks like a Softail Deluxe Vikla guy.
That's
the vibe he gives.
Shit, I'm gonna be a soft tail deluxe Vikla guy too,
Yeah,
man. They're
that's-
fucking clean.
That's probably the route or
The route, yeah.
Dyna,
Okay,
maybe,
yeah.
It's
So-
just
Yeah, that's where I started, man. I started there in that Vikla kind of stuff because that's what I grew up around. You know, that's
Mhm.
the style that I was brought up around. You know, and so I naturally gravitated towards that. And the reason that my bike is what it is now is
Relatable.
just because my riding style changed. You know, my riding style adapted and changed over the past 15, 20 years. I should be going slower as I get older, but I'm going faster as I get older. I don't know how that works out, man, but that's just kind of the nature. That's how motorcycling works. So Ruben, I will give you a fair warning. I'll give you a heads up going into it. One, it's expensive, and it's a never ending expense. Like it's never stops.
I'm with
Facts.
this guy all the time, and it's
He
just
knows.
like,
He knows.
it's just constant. Like
It is always, man. And even when you're like that bike itself has gone through, that's version 3.5, probably 4.5. It's gone through stretch bags, big wheel, meat hangers. It's gone through a lot of different phases, man. So it just never stops, man.
That's the beautiful part about it, though.
absolutely.
That's the beautiful part about it, and that's what I love about it. And that's badass that you've said that. You know, it's the 3.5. You know what I mean?
It is, man.
It's dope.
Yeah, and it'll probably have version 4 and 4.5, just because I guess I get bored and I just want to try. I want to do something else, and even though it's expensive, it's cheaper
That's
for
commitment.
me to. Yeah, well, it's cheaper for me to rebuild that than it is
Right.
to go
They
buy
go
the
buy-
brand new shit. You know?
That's most definitely.
Yeah, that one is a 2008, and I put a 2008. I put the newer style fairing, the same fairing you see on all of them now, but it's a 2008. It used to have the older style fairing on it, and I tell everyone I wanted a new bike, but I didn't have new bike money, so I went and just made it look like a new bike as best as I could.
And
You know,
bro, that shit is sexy
Thanks,
as
man.
fuck, bro. You achieved what I'm sure you were trying to go
I
for.
didn't know what I was going for.
Well, hey, bro, if it was going
If it
for
was
a badass bike, that's exactly what you got there,
Well,
bro.
I appreciate that, man. It's I call it a 50 footer because it looks good for 50 feet away. But I like, I like when you get up on them and there's a little rock chips here, there's a little character.
But that just means you ride your shit.
Yeah.
So I personally like that. You know,
I dig it, man.
I like that. Honestly, personally, looks like a show bike. And
Far from that, I didn't ever want to show.
look, check it out. Look, check it out. Hear me out. It looks like it honestly looks compatible in a show. But it looks like you ride it, which is even better. You know what I mean? Like if you have a show bike and it looks all pretty and stuff, and I mean it looks extra pretty and extra chromed out and extra like non-chipped with your paint, I look at you a little funny. But that's just me personally.
I feel you, man. Everyone shit is a little bit. Everyone owns their motorcycles for different reasons. You
Hey,
know.
that's the beautiful, and that's another topic that we.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. That's everyone owns their bike for different reasons.
That's true.
Some like to just some like to do exactly what you said, get the oohs and the ahs and the attention and the build just a fucking all around gorgeous piece of art. And then I like to have a little bit of like, it looks cool. The license plate over there thing, it's broken, it's janking, it's moving, but I like to have a little bit of both. You know, I
That's
like
good.
people to look at it like you are going, that's a badass bike. It's cool. I'm like, yeah, but it's also a piece of shit at the same time. It's a little bit of both, you know? So I like that flavor. We'll get you on a bike, Ruben. We'll get you on a bike. I'll be looking out for a deluxe for you, a Softail deluxe for you, man. And Jaime, what are you on then?
So
Or
right now,
were you on, or how do we define that?
yeah. So I mean, so I got like pretty much, I would say my first Harley in pretty much 2020. So I got my first
Okay.
bike in 2020. So I mean, I've been
That your first bike?
My
Never
first
had a
bike.
bike prior to that?
never had a bike prior. So the way I kind of learned how to ride in general was my dad. He had a Softail Deluxe, a 2007 Softail Deluxe, and he taught me how to ride when I was like 15, 16 years old. You know, my dad's a bigger dude,
Mhm.
and he was in the back, and I learned with him in the back, his 2 feet on the pegs, like. He's like, you gotta balance me, bro. And like,
Yeah.
and he always told me this. It's funny. He's like, you're gonna have a girl back here, and if you can handle me, then you'll have a girl back there, no problem. So like,
I will say this. Let me say this. It feels a lot better with boobs pressing against your back. than it does that.
different kind of boobs.
Different kind of boobs. That's right.
Nah, but no. So
Better
he pretty much, he put me on that, but it was funny because like as soon as like I was comfortable enough to ride on the freeway and really just ride alone, he just stopped letting me use it. He was just like, like you need to get your own. It's a Harley. It's something that's very personal, and like you'll eventually know. And eventually find out when you have your own,
Yep.
you're not gonna just let anybody just be riding your shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
So that kind of, I respected that, right?
For
So that was again 16, 15 years old. And now I got my first bike around 28.
Okay.
And obviously, yeah, I was just like really into this whole performance based type of motorcycle riding that was going on.
That caught your attention.
It caught my attention. I'm a rocker, so I was into bands, skateboarding. So we never really was into the dirt bikes or riding in
I
general,
gotcha.
because I was just focused on musician stuff. You know what I mean? So it finally caught my attention, and it was this new wave of style.
Performance.
And so I went in straight, and I got myself a Street Glide. So
Okay.
it was like a built it was a 2010 Street Glide. I think it was just like a regular Street Glide, a standard,
Okay.
but it was built. You could straight up, you turned it on, and you could tell it had like a built some
nice,
type.
nice cam. had
Yeah,
something
nice. It had a
exhaust.
nice camera or something, because I
Yeah.
was just ooh.
That's, that's probably what drawed you to it. When you hear it and you hear that, it's that thump. It's that when it's got that big loby.
Mhm.
When I hear a bike roll up, I mean my ear is tuned to it now. I'm like, oh, that sounds good.
when you know.
That's it.
So that I got it. It was a black one, it's like typical Black Beauty. Had some nice meat hookish bars.
Okay.
Had that little kind of Saddleman-ish looking seat.
Okay.
But it had the stretch bags, right? And had dual exhaust, and it was a badass bike. But it was an older bike. It was a built bike, and honestly, it started giving me a little bit of issue.
Okay.
So quickly, I just decided to say fuck this shit. So I got myself a 2021 Street Glide special. So
let's make poor financial decisions. I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you.
No, you're right. Because I already had a car I was paying for, so it wasn't probably the smartest thing, but
you live once, right?
you
As
only
they
live
say,
once,
YOLO,
bro, like,
right?
So I got that Snake Venom, got the chrome version. I wasn't really going for that
nice.
dark,
That's that chameleon kind, or that
it was like a green primarily with a little hint of like purple
in it.
depending on where you saw it. So it was a badass bike. Fucking love that bike.
Street Glide again, or
It
road
was
glide?
it was a Street Glide. You would have thought I got a Road Glide, but I was just really trying to go against the grain when it came down to like the performance,
I feel ya.
type of thing. So I was going for the Street Glide. I was gonna go performance right on that. Didn't really get there. A couple months later, I would say like 9 months later, I got into an accident. So totaled that bike, and
I gotta ask, because there's always gotta learn, right? I guess you gotta learn. Was it, looking back on it, was it something that you could have avoided? Was it reckless? Was it just like, hey, fucking car pulled out in front of me, had nowhere? What was it?
It was a little bit of both. It
Okay.
was definitely with a lot more experience, probably. I would have been able to avoid it, but I mean, it would have required a whole lot of experience. You know what I mean? Like, I would have had to do some like
You would've
very
went down
stunt-ish type of thing, or like, you know what I mean, to try to avoid something like that, because it happened so suddenly.
They always do.
You know what I mean? It was like right in the middle of the intersection, so it was like nothing that was in like the middle of the like road where I had time. It was just in the middle of an intersection where a lot of shit could happen.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go. Nothing, and it happened just instantly. So pretty much, ultimately, snapped my arm in half. So
Damn. Right arm, left arm.
my right arm right here, pretty much just snapped.
Oh
it from,
yeah,
like,
you still
right
got
here.
the surgery. Yeah, they went in there, and what is that?
The doctor did a pretty good job of lining that heart.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Damn.
But nonetheless, snapped this, broke my thumb, when you're holding on to the bars and you fucking go forward. I was still holding on to the shit, so that shit just pulled back, broke that. And I must have like people's elbow like the concrete, because I broke the shit out of my elbow.
Shattered that and everything.
So I have like plates up here, down here, like in the middle, like it's all fucked up. But
Damn.
again, doing pretty good now. Not 100%. There's still a lot of physical therapy that I do, and a lot of homework that I get sent home to do as well. But
and this happened 9 months ago, or how long?
on the 31st of July. So let's say August of last year. So
not even that then.
like 6 months ago.
6 months ago then. Yeah, pretty recent then, man. Well, thank God that you're upright and you're standing and sitting here, I guess, in this case, drinking a beer, hanging out, because there's always, unfortunately, every time there is that side of it, Ruben, I'm sure that that every time you throw your leg over it, there's a risk that we take, and we understand that risk, but it's such a good time that we that's what we do. We risk that, so there's always the unfortunate other side of it. So glad to see you, bruised up, beat up and all that stuff, but you're still kicking and breathing.
Hey, I mean, 4 months later, once I felt good enough to drive, I got myself a new bike. So right now I'm currently on the Softail Deluxe, just like my pops. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Obviously, because I was 4 months into the injury, having a bagger at that time, I was being stubborn. I shouldn't even have had any bike, you know what I mean, to be quite honest. Anybody would obviously tell me not to, but I was like, you know what, fuck that shit. Like, to me, it's like therapeutic.
You needed
Like,
it.
I pay money to that bike
Yeah.
and to have it running and looking at where I want to do it versus paying money to a therapist.
For sure.
Like, that's where my therapy is. I
Yep.
mean, I do rides to Reno for like street vibrations. I went
Dope.
last year. I'm going to Arizona Bike Week.
Couple weeks.
End
of the month.
End of the month. I'm gonna
yeah.
actually be going with Bagger Society. So shout out to that
Oh,
guy.
right on.
I'll be riding with him. I'm a videographer. Obviously he does a lot of content, so we're definitely going to be collabing and stuff like that. So that's going to be a perfect opportunity to get some vlogging in.
Yep.
Make that shit look LunaVision as fuck and make it look dope as fuck. And then, just make some cool memories and shit like that. So I like that long distance riding, which is why I got the street lights to begin with.
Okay.
And which is why I upgraded, because since I was intending to do long haul shit, I didn't want to have an older bike. I wanted to get all the bells and whistles and have some shit that was banking, new 0 miles, and which is why I went with that bike. But for now, due to the circumstance and stuff like that, I went with the Softail, and I'll actually be.
What year is it? What year is it?
It's a 2008, so it's an
2008.
older one.
Okay.
But
So twin cam, 96, 6 speed. At least
it's a reliable, engine. So I ain't really too worried about it.
It is a 2008, and originally 2008s came with a 96. There was the first year of throttle by wire, if I'm not mistaken. Yours probably should have a throttle by wire on there also, and then 6-speed.
Yes,
so it's a good combination. It's not a bad combination to have. It's not a crazy amount of power. It's a good amount of power.
Yeah.
And going from a 5-speed to a 6-speed, my dad's Fat Boy is a 5-speed. It's an 88-inch fuel injected 5-speed, and at 80 miles an hour, that thing is just screaming. Wow! It's just wide open.
Maxed out.
And that 80 miles an hour is like, okay, that's it, boy. And to me, 80 miles an hour, I know it sounds stupid probably when I'm about to say it, but 80 is like a cruising speed for me. I really shouldn't be saying that on the mic, but 80 is like a cruising speed for me, really, where I'm like comfortable right around 85. And even at 85, I'm just like, I'm in the zone. I just feel like that's where I'm at.
And especially if you're in your bagger, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's built for those type of speeds and that type of wind hitting it. Cause it's intended for that touring shit, for you to be in between canyons and having that air hitting it. So I understand that. Like I said, coming from that 21 Street Glide Special, I mean, that shit's, it's real nice when you're ripping canyons or you're in that open road in that bagger. So I'm definitely looking into getting a new one. Probably an ST.
Stepping stones, get there. Enjoy the ride that you have right now, because one, you have one. You have wheels to be able to take you on to Arizona or to Reno or wherever it is that you want to go. So enjoy what you got right now. It doesn't have to always be. Dude, there's guys out there that are going to run out to Arizona on, Evos and shovel heads and other stuff, and chopper shit and whatever. So
it's all about the ride.
It's really like the ride is really what it comes down to. It don't matter how fast you get there. Sometimes getting there really slow is really cool too, So none of that. My advice to people all the time is don't get caught up in and it's my business. We live in Instagram world. We live in social media world. We live in podcast world. We live in LunaVision world. We live in that world now, where everything is everyone wants to make it look like the best, or you want it to make it look so perfect. That's business. That's the world we kind of live in, but don't get caught up in that. Like, that's not the only thing. What really is like what you said. It's the fucking ride that really what it really boils down to. My old man, when he rode that Fat Boy, man, when I first started riding, I had a street bike and he had that Fat Boy. And when I had my street bike, I'd fucking old man, get out of the way. You're fucking slow and da da da. And he'd just be back there like fucking just cruising. And he'd pull up 5 minutes behind me. Fucking not like I was sitting there waiting for him forever. He'd pull up a little bit behind me. But he would always remind me, he'd always tell me, hey, how can you see anything if you're going so fucking fast, man? Like, look around and shit. And at the time I was young, dumb, and just wanted to be stupid and go fast.
Right.
And then as I get older, I'm like, hey, Mo, man, you're smarter than you thought. I should give you listen to a little bit more when I was 15, 20 years old, you knew something. So it's all about the ride. It really is. I go on long trips myself. That's where my heart is. I love ripping these canyons. I love that type of stuff. I love going to the spots. But the long distance rides is where you really, really connect with the bike and really find and figure out what motorcycling kind of is. Like, that's where you really go, that's what this is, the freedom that you hear people say. There's no other freedom like this. You won't ever be able to experience it. But when you're out there on the road overnight, you go to Arizona and all you do is ride your bike all weekend. It's your only mode of transportation. You're living on your bike, whether it's for a week, a weekend, whatever it may be. That's where you really fucking get connected with that shit, man. It's pretty, so keep on slaying the miles, man. That's the best one. Yeah. So, but we'll get you on a bike, Ruben. We're gonna get you on a bike. We'll get you out to Arizona and all that shit. Hey, have you ever considered doing or have you heard, and if you have heard, considered doing a ride 1K in a day? Have you heard of it?
I haven't, but I definitely have wanted to do like some ridiculous ride and just do it all in one day. So
okay.
Yeah. What is that?
So ride 1K in a day is exactly what it says.
Okay.
Ride 1K. So ride 1,000 miles in a day. And a day is 24 hours. So ride 1,000 miles in 24 hours.
That seems like like an Arizona trip and back.
So I've done it twice. Yeah. It's a whoa shit. I've done it twice. I did one in 2020 and I just did one in December of last year. And the first time was to Arizona. I went all the way down like the 10. I went up through Jerome. I rode in through Sedona, all the way up to Flagstaff. I hit Flagstaff and then turned around and came home and took like the 40 back home and just came all the way back. It was a big giant loop. Fuck. I went to Flagstaff basically and came back. And it was like, I don't know, 1,100 miles, 1,050 miles or something like that. It was just, it wasn't bad. For me, that both of them that I've done have been loops. Like, some people will just like, they're going to destination. Like if you're going to Texas or you're going to Sturgis, right? One part of it, you just like, I'm going to bust out a 1K and you just 1,000 miles and then you stop or whatever it is that you do. Both of mine have just been, I want to sleep in my bed tonight. Like I want to be back home sleeping in my bed. Yeah. And so I left at like 4 a.m. and I got back home at like 10 at night. Like,
so you already you planned it with that in mind.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I got a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old in the house, man. I gotta be back home, you know. So, but yeah, if you really want to try and do like a little bit of a challenge, man, it's
I like that.
Not a lot of people. I mean, not a lot of people can say they've done it or have even attempted to do it, but my homeboy Ramble over there does it, and it's a pretty cool little thing, man. I got to put the other one up, but I got one of the certificates there. To write down what you did, where you went, how many miles it took you. I just saw, actually, believe it. Check this out. He just posted, I think, a day or two ago, the record. Because what he'll do is he has different records, like the biggest group to do one, or the most miles in 24 hours. Because you can do 1,000 miles in 15 hours and then just say that you did it. But there's other ones that'll go do like, they'll just keep going. They're like, okay, I 23 hours and 59 minutes. I did 1,600 miles. I don't know. So he has different records. Someone just set a record. I don't think he posted who it is yet, but he just kind of like teased it. I think it was 10 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah, that's fucking
1,000 miles in 10 hours.
10 hours and 30 minutes. That's one fucking hauling ass. That's, I mean, I don't, we're not saying anything that, don't do anything you shouldn't be doing.
It has to be fucking wide open.
But you are moving. You got to be, for that, I'm assuming you got to be moving pretty good, one, and then you're
in Death Valley or something where you could just fucking run miles for just go for hours. Well, you know what I mean?
When you do 1,000 miles, you got to figure you're probably, if you're getting good mileage, you got to stop every 150 miles just for gas.
Facts.
Just for gas, you got to stop. So you're going to have to stop at least 6-7 times just for gas. So you got to figure out a way to. I've had a homeboy of mine do one where they were fucking carrying gas tanks and they were fucking. They pour. I don't know yet because I don't know. Like all he did was tease that new record.
Damn.
Here's the time, and then he put details
that was
soon.
One bad, whoever that guy is, bad motherfucker.
Yeah. So and like females have done it in like 10 hours and like 58 minutes. So he has like fastest for women, fastest for men. It's got a lot of different things, but you should check one out if you like that long distance stuff. It's you know, some people will go, I don't need to prove. I'm like, it's not approving. It's just fucking like a little notch on the belt. It's just a little check that one off of the bucket
this guy
list.
Yeah.
loves to ride.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
With this guy's bike's going, that's all it is.
That's it,
His
man.
car's parked in the garage for like 6 months one time. I was
Fuck
like,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't need.
I gotta dust this thing off. I gotta take my daughter somewhere today.
There you
But
go.
he's always on the bike.
And that's why we got to get you on one, because you'll end up being that way. You'll be like, I'm going on the bike, you know.
When I first got that bagger, bro, I was going to the fucking liquor store to get milk just to go ride my shit, bro. Like, you know, I'm fresh in it, you know what I mean? And you know, I'm blessed to be financially, like, you know,
yeah,
fucking able to, because like you said, that shit's expensive. So to all the homies that think that shit's cooling on, you think that shit's like, you know, nice. It's really not that nice. Like, I can't do all the other cool shit that I wish I could be doing because I'm just so committed to this, like, you know, to motorcycle shit. And and it's not to complain about it. It's just to say that there's some dedication and there's
Absolutely.
love for it, right? Because you could do anything, and you could, you know, really spend your money however you fucking want.
Yep.
And I choose to spend it this way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because it's not, like you said, it's not cheap, man.
No, it is not, but it's addicting and it's fun.
Addicting,
It's a
and like you
lifestyle.
said from the beginning about like the different kinds of uses you have for each bike. Like
Yep.
I have that Vikla bike because I want that shit to be 100% Vikla as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that my next bike ain't gonna be a bagger because I want a bagger.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I want a Dyna because I want the nimbleness. Like, you know,
Bagger, Dyna,
you-
Softail,
you
yeah,
feel
a
me?
little
Like,
bit of everything, you know.
So I relate to that, and that's the goal of mine. You know, I'm only, you know, about to be like 31, so like I'm young.
So how old are you, Ruben?
I'm 40.
Good shit. Well, we're right there, homeboy. Hey, you young cats over here, young bucks. Huh?
I told him I'm with this guy all the time, we're best friends, and I'm like, sometimes, bro, you make me feel old as fuck. I'm like,
That's why let's just not even talk about age.
There's nothing wrong with getting older there, man. That comes wisdom, some experience, a little bit of gray here and there, but you know, ain't nothing
that's why
wrong
I
with
keep
that
myself
shit.
short. I'm like,
Should
if
I keep my shit short because I ain't got none up there, man? I wasn't blessed with good hair gene, man. So off it goes, you know. So I got to ask then. So Ruben, how did you kind of get into, if your business, Strive for Glory, is, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems very motorcycle based.
So
I'm sure it can go a lot of different directions, but what I interpret when I follow, I see a little motorcycle more base to it.
So since I started it, Jaime's been with me, and he's been riding since I started it. And when I brought it out, it was just kind of trying to be like in car shows or hip motorcycle shows, try to see what avenue we could take it. And with him riding so much, and I knew a lot of people in the motorcycle world before.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we ended up going. And we've gotten asked to do, Harley Davidson and California Harley Davidson, Harbor City asked us to do bike nights. So that's how
cool.
the whole motorcycle thing kind of started for us.
I feel
getting
ya.
into shows. And then Manny from Gotura Cycles,
Okay.
he's helped us get in a lot of shows as well. So it's just, we just stuck with the motorcycle.
I feel ya.
They've taken us in. So,
And that's what I was gonna key on in a little bit, because we were talking about at the beginning that motorcycle people are very giving and welcoming and stuff. And I think this is just yet another example of, you're not necessarily riding, you're not, owning a bike, but they see the ambition, they see the hustle, they like the design, they like what you're presenting, like what you're doing. They're like, hey, come on over here, we'll get you in, we'll bring you to this show. Your stuff will appeal to our people, basically. You know what I'm saying? And so that is just one more example of like, hey, rough and tough, tattoos, all that stuff. Bring it on, baby. We're welcoming. We're giving. We want. I know it sounds like the people that you've surrounded yourself with are like what I like to surround myself with. I want the people that I'm around to rise with me. I don't want to try and leave anybody behind. I want them to come along for the ride.
If anybody knows us right now, what we've been doing lately, what he's been starting, and what we've kind of kept on rolling is
we're building a team, of like people, like-minded people who we have our own, like, goals in life, but we help each other out as much as possible. So we have, like, a cat mohawk bat, some tattooed fella that you probably a lot of my followers see on my stuff. We got a guy named Nate. We got which is another like friend who's like a model. Since I'm a videographer and he's in the brand world, like I'm always having to shoot brands, right?
Yeah.
I need cool looking people to shoot stuff with. So like we have these people who all have their own businesses and their own brands, and we just kind of interchange work and help each other out. Free of charge. We don't charge each other or anything like that, you know, because we're just trying to build each other. Like I need,
Absolutely.
you know, I need a human who looks like a certain look. So I got my friend who's going to step in and, you know, model for me and, you know, help me out to help my brand because I'm getting paid to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot of like, you know, helping out and stuff. So like,
we call that networking, baby.
It's networking, you know, and like, so that whole rising up, you know, we just bring everybody who's like around us, we make sure that we take care of our people, you know what I mean?
That's the way to do it, man. Like you know, hearing you and you're saying that you're bringing pieces in and you guys are working together and you want to talk to this person or you want to network with that person or work with them. I don't know if you guys know the history of this, but for a while, up until the beginning of this year, basically, my podcast, my media platform, whatever limited shirt sales that I kind of put out there just to have stuff out there. It was me. It was like a one-man band, and I wanted it to grow. And I had a vision of where I want this thing to go, and I knew, but it was more of the recognition of I can get it there, but it's going to take longer to get it there just by myself. Like that's what it's gonna. I'll do it. Like trust me. I'm gonna work the same. I'm gonna work just as hard as with a team or by myself. But obviously doing it by myself, you only can juggle this many plates. Oh shit, let me go spin that one again before it. So when you bring in a team, and that's what we ended up doing here with Throttled Roots, is I had this vision, I had this media, and that's really what I started kind of focusing was the media stuff, like YouTube and a podcast and a little bit of, I guess you can call me a personality. I hate being called an influencer. I fucking hate that fucking word, by the way. I like that a little bit more because I know I guess I will self-proclaim personality, air quotes, just because I do put myself in front of a camera. I do have to be a little vocal, and I don't have to. I just project myself, but it's really kind of getting comfortable in front of a stinking camera is what you kind of have to get past. But I wanted to focus in and hone in on this aspect a little bit more. And so it started to make sense where I'm like, hey, I got my homeboys, Joe and Danny, that I'm like, these guys are fucking my boys. They each have something to bring to the table of like where I see and where I want what I have in my head to go.
Right.
And that's the way to go. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Yeah. That's what they say, man. And so, I mean, I'm all about that shit, man. I love people that can do it on their own and grind and fucking like rise to the top because of all the effort and the work that they put in. Cool. That's cool and shit. But we're in the same boat where it's like, hey, man, let's rise together. Yeah. Let's fucking rise and grind together, man. So I'm all for that, man. Keep grinding on it.
We got another guy that we're working with right now. Rocky Shoots It, and he's a new photographer. And I was talking to him about a picture yesterday or the day before, asking him, hey, have you seen this one? He said, no, I haven't seen it. So I ended up finding this picture and sent it to him. I said, I'll call you in 30 minutes. I got an idea. So this one picture that involved two people, we've turned it into like 5 or 6 people. And it's going to be.
Is it like a shirt? Is it just a
photo shoot?
Okay.
Photo shoot idea.
Okay.
Video.
Okay.
So instead, we went from 2 people to like, all right, let's get this person, because that's all who we're working with right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's all, if one of us gets to the top, we're all going to get to the top.
That's it, man. It takes a team effort will always prevail. You'll always get there quicker. And, I know I have a certain, just hearing you and explaining how you're talking about, you saw this picture and then you called this other person but when you bring more than one viewpoint to it, because my mind works in a creative way that I think this, and then there's things that I've done through this podcast and through the Instagram and through YouTube that my homeboys have gone, hey, what do we do this? Fuck, it's a good idea. I never even thought of that because all of our brains don't function the same way. We all have we all interpret things different and shit like that. So it's never a bad idea. Just, hey, let's throw it on the table. Just throw it on here and like, I fucking like that. I like that. And that's how really good ideas and really good things come to fucking fruition, man. That's what they do, you know. How long has Strive for Glory kind of been, like, I guess technically in business?
This month is 2 years.
Good shit, homeboy.
Yeah.
That's
2 years.
that speaks volumes, man. That's you know, it's not easy keeping doors open and
No,
keep it,
it's
yeah.
not. We have that talk all the time. It's like,
I know. So is Strive for Glory full time for you?
No.
Okay.
no, it's
Still
not.
still grinding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this shit don't happen overnight, man. Trust me,
No.
I've been doing this for 2 years too, man. And it's not this like podcast wise, but just where I started has been about 2 years now. And eventually I got to the podcast shit, you know. So it's
a
especially
slow cooker.
Dude,
It's a slow
it is.
cooker for
and
sure.
it's a like it takes a certain tenacity. It takes a certain individual because I mean you have a regular job, I guess, and all that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm an aircraft painter at Northrop Grumman.
oh shit, good. Okay, it's a good
I
job.
paint F-35s.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah,
So that's cool.
and I have a little bit of that. You can only put so much paint. All the fucking shit weight. You got to like weighing and all that shit. Like it's a trip, man. It's a pretty cool job.
It's,
man.
it's a science.
It's a science. That's what I mean. When it comes to painting aircraft, it's not like painting a fucking car where you can put an extra layer or two on it.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I'm talking to him on the way over here. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking about this at work today about, all right, we got to do this. We got to do this. And I was like, I'm at work. What I'm doing is just second nature. Like,
Yeah.
and people think like, oh man, it's so hard. And I'm like,
How long you been doing that?
I've been in aerospace industry for 20 years. I
Oh,
think.
it's fucking second. Yeah, it's second nature to you. You can
Yeah.
almost damn do it in your. Yeah, when you do something for that long, you figured the tips and the tricks out. What do they say? I heard something on the radio or wherever it was, and something about it only took you 5 minutes to do that. How are you charging me $500? I'm not charging you for the 5 minutes. I'm charging you for the 20 years that it took me to do it in fucking 5 minutes. That's what you're paying for.
I
you
know all too well about that.
Yeah,
you know,
man. People
as a creative,
yeah, people don't see that, people don't understand that, so but the first couple of years in the business, man, even sometimes more, those are the hardest ones because you almost have to put even more time and effort into it because nobody knows, you're building the brand and you damn near paying yourself nothing. If anything, you're not fucking paying yourself. You almost can call it a hobby for the first, couple of years. And the goal is to start making money, or you invest into your business, you buy more merchandise, you buy better, whatever it may be.
It's all recycling.
That's it, man.
recycling.
Yeah. And at some point, obviously we have to start turning a dollar on it.
Right.
That's the goal. That's why we're all in it, but that's why I was saying it takes a certain business. Owning your own business is not for everybody because it will beat you up. It will kind of it'll get you down a little bit. It'll be like, fuck, what am I doing all this for, man? I'm not,
But,
We just
every
had that this
business has
weekend.
like different challenges, right? Like
Absolutely.
you open up a restaurant, you're gonna have certain challenges. You open up a clothing brand, you're gonna have certain challenges. You know what I mean? That they don't, that differentiates from different businesses like that. You just gotta be willing and have the tenacity to overcome, like you said, those first couple years that are the difficult ones, right? To kind of get things cooking and going. So definitely. This guy's, for the first 2 years, he's put in a lot of work. But like I tell him, it's gonna be a grind and it's gonna happen. And there's like 1 + 1 = 2.
Mhm.
And if you continue at it, it's something positive is gonna turn out of it and success will come to it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna require that work and that effort, you know.
But you also get, on my end of it, there's a feeling it gives you. There's something that it does for you, like it builds your character. You get callous a little bit in the sense of like, oh, that don't bother me none. I got my eyes on the prize. Like you kind of put blinders on. You're like, I'm just fucking rolling. Yeah, but Ruben, you're not making how much. You're not making any money. I don't give a fuck. The goal's over there. Like that's what I'm grinding at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it builds you up in a certain way that you have to go through that in order to come out clean. On the other end of the shit, so that's why I say it's not for everybody. And I'm thinking of a buddy right now that I just found out he's opening his own business. He works for the same company I work for, and he still does. But he's starting to do like a solar cleaning business because everything around here now is like solar, and you need to go get those panels cleaned. They don't get mildew, and everybody has them on their house and shit now, right? So he started doing like a solar power washing business type thing, and he just started getting into it. And I was like, fuck, he posted his new logo and shit like that. And, you know, I'm sitting there like, dog, I'm cheering you on, homeboy, whatever
Oh,
you
yeah.
need, however I can support, man, because I know what it's like to be there. One, it's a really, when you're done, and not when you're done, but when you get to the point of like self-sufficiency, where that is your ultimate, that's your source of income, then that's a feeling that I think I heard it, Joe Rogan say it. That's a feeling that can't be measured or can't be given in any other way when it's you that made your own, you know, self-sufficiency. You're paying your bills with what you built and shit.
Yeah.
There's no better freedom. There's no better luxury, no better feeling than having that. We got day jobs. You know, you ever a day job?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah. So we got day
Yeah.
jobs, and those are like okay, I got the day job because I need insurance, and I got to pay the bills, and I got to do the basics and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that covers that shit. But well, one, we're in California. We can't afford to have just one job around this motherfucker.
Yeah,
we have to have a
That's
couple.
for sure.
That's
You
why.
know?
That's why
That's fucking
I
crazy.
kind of started my business with the whole videography thing, because like I wanted a second job, but obviously I didn't want. I tried the second job thing where I'm doing just like, because you know you have your 9 to 5. You don't want your 9 to 5 to be just as intense as your like your
Yep.
second job to be. So you do something a little bit, you know, easier. Those easier jobs don't tend to be the fun ones, and
Mm-mm.
they're, you know, just not the best. So I was like, you know what, let me try to find a way to make, you know, some money doing something a little more fun, and which is why I got into like the whole camera stuff, like probably like, you know, a couple years ago. And,
So how long you been dabbling with the camera, with the videography now?
I would say like 4 years.
Okay.
Like 4 years. So like right before the pandemic, I would say like a year before the pandemic. I'm a huge sports fan, so I'm a like season ticket holder to LAFC.
Okay. Football
So,
club, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So pretty much take my camera there. I hang out with like a supporter group, District 9 Ultras.
That's cool.
And I pretty much just take photos and do video for them, and kind of was just doing photography, just sports photography, but like more on like the supporter side, right?
I feel you.
And kind of got my, you know, experience there. People started kind of tapping into my, you know, DMs like, hey, is that like with an iPhone, or is that like I'm like, no, I actually got like a nicer camera.
Yeah.
And you know, just did a lot of that kind of stuff, and then, you know, pictures with my daughter and family and stuff like that. So
Okay.
that's kind of how I got it started. And then when the pandemic happened, that's when I met this guy, and it's when he started his, you know, clothing brand. It was right at the beginning. So I was like, you know, hey bro, let me shoot your t-shirts, you know, like,
Mhm.
you know, let me get some type of experience with
Like you
clothing.
said,
right?
you need people to shoot.
Yeah. So I'm like, and you need stuff shot. So
yeah,
I'm
you
like,
need
And you know, before that, he randomly took a picture of me, like at our buddy's
Like
house. 'cause
candid
he
stuff.
always had his, he
yeah,
always had his
candid stuff.
camera.
I already had,
Always
but
had
I
his
was the
camera.
one that had pictures. It was funny because like I would take pictures of him one night, and everyone is all excited because they're like, oh, like the next couple weeks they're like in the group chat like, hey, so where are the pictures? And, like I would never edit them and stuff like that. So like I had a very bad habit of just taking pictures and just not editing them, because I was just super into like YouTube tutorialing and like trying to get myself educated before I really got out there. So I did, but then I got myself a little too stuck in just learning and not putting it into play and action. Like sometimes you got to go out there and try it and get that, you know, trial and error.
Yep.
And I was missing that part for like a lot of it. So he kind of would obviously like push me like, hey bro, stop lagging it, like you got to do it. And then,
Good advice.
you know, so
Good advice.
he would keep doing it, and I would, you know, like be like, fuck, you know, so I would have to
I
do
would
it,
keep
you
doing
know.
it, and I still keep doing it.
You know, and then you
Good
know,
homeboy.
eventually, you know, I kind of, you know, felt very comfortable with taking pictures, and I tapped in with like the video, and you know, started doing video content, and then just did anything that came my way. So like homies would hit me up, like my boss would, hey, I'm gonna have a quinceañera, you down to like
Oh, that's
shoot
cool.
this quinceañera? You down to shoot a wedding? My friend from like, you know, back in the like middle school, she got married, so she asked me to shoot her wedding, and I'm like, are you trusting me? Like she's like, yeah, don't trip. And like, you know, she's like, I'll pay you $500. I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm down. You know what
I can do it for $500.
You know what I mean? Like say less. So
I'd have done it for beer.
I would have done it for free. You know what I mean?
You would've done
So,
it
you know,
for
but they're-
tacos.
You know, so like shout out to her, you know, for like trusting me in that. So, you know, I did it, and now I have like a little bit of like clothing brand work to like in my portfolio. I have a little bit of, wedding stuff. So like
Dope.
then like I got hit up for like gender reveals, but like I have a unique style. Like my style is very cinematic, which I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah.
It's not just your typical just pull up the camera and just kind of shoot it. Like I have a very cinematic, I guess, like style.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I attract everybody with. You hire me to your wedding, I'm not gonna sit here with the camera and give you a 2-hour video like the old school dudes back in the
Mhm.
days and stuff like that. You're gonna get yourself a 10-minute nice cinematic video of the
Yeah.
whole entire day.
You're gonna get the highlight reel.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in a very nice fashion. So that's kind of where I kind of started, and then now I'm just kind of just focusing on motorcycle related stuff.
Okay. I
and
feel you.
tapping into that.
You need dudes like this to push you and tell you and remind you to like, hey man, like where's those photos, or get out there and do it, because I know exactly, I know the feeling of where you were at with stuff, because I am kind of programmed that way a little bit as well. I want to know how to. Sometimes not anymore as much, but definitely when I first started, like putting out a podcast or putting out any YouTube video, when I had 10 people subscribe to my channel, I just had a channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before I put any video out, I was always like, okay, it's got to look good. And I get so stupid. I'd get so stupid down into shit, dude. I get so dumb. And
that's your creative, like your
that's
you
my
want
perfectionist. That's my perfectionist,
Yeah.
and that's my that was my perfectionist as well as my learning. Like I wanted to, okay, how do I make? Oh, that's how you do it. And I'd spend so much stupid time on something that nobody
was gonna
ever
pay
cared
attention.
about. Knew if there was, I would and then I'd go back and watch something, or I'd hear a podcast, and I'm like, oh, that sounded like shit, or I should have edited that, and then I go, who the fuck even notices, probably, and so
Nobody.
I finally started kind of turning that curve of like, listen, if just put it out there, because what I did learn, when I made this decision, when I finally made this recognition of, I don't decide what flops or what's good.
Yep.
I don't decide that. When I started doing Instagram live videos, when I started doing a podcast, when I started putting up a YouTube video, when I was just getting into the Instagram game, and I'm like, okay, this picture looks really fucking good, and I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to do this shit. And I thought, there was times where I go, this is a banger. This is going to get fucking everybody hyped.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just and then it would be like, it would just flop. And I go, what the fuck? And then there was times where I would just like, I need to post something. I don't know what the fuck to post. I'm just looking through my fucking phone, and I'm like, okay, there's something. And I just post it. And then that was the one that went to fucking like
I
crazy.
lose my shit when that happens. I'm texting this guy, I'm texting my other boys, and I'm like, fucking Instagram's playing games again. Here we go. This one got fucking 20 likes, and this one got 300. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, it does.
Well, this one's a banger.
Yeah,
and this one's
what we think is a fucking banger, because we're the artist, we're the creative person, we're the one that's putting it out, we're the one that's putting the work into it, typing the caption, whatever it is that whatever energy we're putting into it.
Yep.
We're the ones that are in our head going, this is it, this is fucking the shit. But that's what I realized, and when I made that click, when I made that switch, and I go, I'm not the judge. The audience, the people that are following me, the people that are seeing it on the other side of the screen, they're the judge. Yeah. They're the ones that are going to double tap it. They're the ones that are going to share it on their post or their story, because they like what they see. Fuck. And so when I made that switch, that's when I just started going, fucking, I'm posting it. Fucking, I'm posting it. Like it or not, I'm posting it. I'm posting it.
And that's what happened recently with me.
Good.
After that accident, like, I just started being like, why am I? Because you would be, if you were to like pay attention to my posts, you would see right before the accident, you probably see 6 posts in a whole year. Because I would just, I work a lot, do a lot of work, but I didn't feel confident to post it onto my page because I was just always second guessing myself. But after that accident,
so he just let everybody else post this shit.
Everybody else would post it still, and that's how people would know of me still. But I just wouldn't post it on my page. But right after the accident, I kind of was just like, you know what, fuck it. Like, it doesn't matter if I don't think it's perfect. Like, I just need to post it. Yep. And like you said, those are the ones do good. And you know what I mean? And
also, for some reason, I don't know why he doesn't have the confidence that he does in the work that he does. Like, his work speaks for himself.
Yeah.
And that's not coming from me. That's coming from a lot of people that we're tied in with,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just like,
That's us being, and that's us being. That's the critical side of us.
Yeah.
I do the same. I can be. We're our worst critics. We are our own worst. I'm sure Ruben, you do the same thing with maybe like whether it's a shirt design. You're like, I'm not feeling that one as much.
Oh, yes,
Whatever
he
it
is
may
like
be.
that.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're your own worst critic. We have to be in that sense, but having that quality is also a good thing. Because that's what keeps you kind of fed. That's what keeps you fucking kind of fueled. You have to be a little bit like, I didn't like that. I could do better next time. You know, you got to kind of pick your stuff apart a little bit, but you got to just put it out there though, man. You got to just do it, you know?
Well, you know, I did start doing that, and you know, ultimately, you know, it's been very successful. And like I said, after that accident, I do a lot. You know, obviously before that, I was doing freelancing. So any brand that would hit me up, any type of work that came in, I was taking in. I don't say no to no money. You know what I mean? Like I do it all. But now I'm blessed to say that I have now like my retainer services that I started offering in 2023 that I kind of had the idea like, you know, maybe in 2023 I'm gonna start hitting up some of my little brands and clients that I'm working with and offer them like retainer services on a monthly basis where I give them a certain amount of content. You know what I mean? And it was just a thought about it. So I just started talking about it to some of my clients, and they were just like, hey, well, you know what? Let me get on that shit now before you go live on that. And, you know, I didn't even have to go live, and I got pretty much booked up with all the slots for that retainer service.
Dope.
So now I'm not even doing any.
So you're saying I can't get on that list?
Yeah, you know, I got to figure out that work-life balance because I still got that 9 to 5. The goal is to eventually, you know, not have that 9 to 5 and go full-time with this, you know, creative, you know, it's Luna Vision Creative Services because it's just more than just taking video or taking photos. I offer like a lot, like marketing services, like, you know, some, you know, consultation, you know, product photography. I mean, I offer like a whole creative package that I could offer. So that, again, that's the long-term goal. This requires me to have a team of other videographers and other photographers to be, you know, just collectively work. Because I mean, obviously this would be bigger contracted stuff and, you know, bigger stuff that I'm trying to gear towards. But at least, you know, I'm not freelancing no more. I'm working with these 3 people. You know, West Coast Dyna is one of them. You know, motorcycle related. Espinosa Leather Company,
big name.
You know, Eric. Shout out to Eric and Gil over there.
They're good people.
Real good people.
Trying to get them on the podcast. Right. So next time you talk to them, I've talked to them over here at Harley. I've got my vest from them. I've just thrown the line out there like a little, just a quick. Hey man, we'll get you on the podcast one day. That's kind of all that's up. But next time you holler at them,
definitely. I'm gonna bring this up to them for sure.
Out this way too.
Yeah, Santa Clarita now.
Santa Clarita. I just shot a video for that. Pretty soon it's going to be released. Just kind of promoting that event and stuff like that. So good. So shout out to them. And then lastly, the Brown Pride Productions and Brown Pride Tattoo Shop. It's pretty much this family owned tattoo shop. They also do screen printing, which is why I said Brown Pride Production. They're from South Central and East LA. They have 2 shops there, and they have in the City of Industries, they have their little like screen printing, you know, whole little kind of little setup there. So shout out to them. And just with those 3, you know, retainers, I'm pretty much booked up, you know, with pretty much everything, you know, any more than that.
Strive for Glory.
Oh yeah. And of course, Strive for Glory goes without even having to see set, because that guy is not even part of the retainer service. You know, that guy, anything he needs, you know, he's always gonna I'll make time for this guy. You know, dope, like 1,000%. Good. So you know, with those 3 retainers, I'm pretty much booked up. Anything more would be greedy, and then also unfair to my family. Yeah, you know what I mean? With how being so busy and stuff like that.
But that's what it sounds like. You have like the balance, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the balance. Yeah, I'm still not quite there yet.
Family, wife, kids, whatever that scenario is, 9 to 5 job. You know, kicking it with your boys, being social, having a life yourself. But then there also just simply becomes, if you take on too much, then you may quality may suffer, you know, because you can't put the same energy in you, because you only have so much time in a day. There's 24 hours in a day. Which is why
I capped it at those 3 retainers, because you know, anything more than that, again, it just wouldn't be smart. For the kind of work that I've been putting in, obviously that quality would go down, like you said, you know what I mean? And that happens because I'm a one-man band at the moment, you know what I mean? So I got to be smart with that. The goal is to eventually go full-time, and when that time does happen, I'll obviously open up those services again. You know, and that time is potentially happening soon.
Good.
Maybe not. All time will tell. But definitely, good things coming, and it's been a nice journey, and a positive and successful one. So
I don't think if you're not doing the photos and videos and doing all the editing, or haven't seen somebody do it or been involved in it,
Mm-hmm.
like there's a lot of people that have no fucking idea what goes into it.
I imagine.
man.
What goes into
that
it. I
YouTube
see-
University, man, and I mean, this guy
I see this guy. He's sitting there. He's doing this.
Just
this
nerding
mouse
out,
here,
you know
has
what I
this
mean?
screen here, and he's dragging this color, dragging this over here, and I'm like,
Well,
what the fuck are you even doing?
not just all the stuff that goes into it, from the software to this to that, but just like hardware, equipment. Like you don't get quality without having quality, and
Yeah.
quality costs money.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. I was gonna do this podcast with like a fucking little USB microphone and just hook it up to my computer, and I'm like, no, that's not the same.
You gotta take that extra step.
Yeah,
man.
like if I want a good product, you got to go and get good. You got to spend money on some good product, and I've learned just dipping my toe into this, just with laptop and microphone and this and fucking that camera, just that little thing that I have there. It costs money. It's
Yeah.
not cheap, And when you
Mhm.
start getting to probably the level that you start getting into, where you have fucking however many frames per second these fucking
Yeah.
cameras take now, and all the crazy shit that they do, the price fucking starts going up, man. DSLRs cameras cost what? Entry level camera? What does one cost now?
At least $1,000, but they could get to the $3 to $4 very, very easily,
Very fast, huh?
very quick.
Add
That's
one or
just-
two
that's just for the
accessories and
base
it's
and
over.
Just
no
for the
lenses,
body,
right?
Yeah.
no lenses, none of that.
Lenses
Just
is-
the body alone.
you
You'll
need the
spend like,
lens.
and yeah, man, but it's been fun. It's been something that I didn't really I didn't go to school for.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody out there, just like I'm sure you didn't go to school to be some type of personality or podcast guy. You know what I mean? Like, nah, it's all something that you worked at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty with this, that it's something that I have full control over. Like,
Yep.
I control how good I get, because I determine how much hours I put on educating myself.
Yep.
Right. Trying to even though like you might say that my work is great and all that stuff, like I'm still like researching stuff to try to add
Elevate
new
it.
tricks to my bag and stuff like that. So it's a constant grind. Thank God I got the people working with me to keep me busy the way
Yep.
I'm busy. This guy supporting me like 1,000% and bugging the shit out of me, which is
That's
great.
what homeboys do, man.
Yeah,
That's what homeboys do.
I'm the oldest of like 4 dudes and a little sister. So I don't have like anybody to, kind of like
Yeah.
get on me and stuff like that. So this dude definitely plays a role like the older brother, So
That's where that old 40-year-old experience comes in,
That's
right,
where it
Ruben?
and he shares that. I mean, I'm blessed for him to be willing enough to share his experience with me, and then obviously
dope.
all the people that he rocks with. So
That's dope, man. I can totally relate to you when you're talking about like teaching yourself. Funny story. When I first got this podcast shit, you guys were when I was giving you guys the mic checks and I was telling you where to talk into this mic. I didn't know shit about these mics. Okay. I didn't know jack shit. I looked at the cords the very first time I got it and I'm like, okay, that goes there. Like I just fucking laid it out. I don't even know where this shit goes. And I'm like, but it only fits there. And that go number 1. Okay. And I just started fucking moving buttons and shit. Right. But what I didn't know was that, like, because I guess I've watched other podcasts, right? You watch them on YouTube or whatever, and when you see a microphone, you guys were asking, like, do you turn it or do you talking to the top of it and whatnot? And I had zero fucking idea, man. And I think it was probably, if I've gone back and laughed at it, I think it was the first 2, 3, maybe even 4 podcasts that I did. I didn't know that you had to talk into this part of the fucking mic. I just fucking screwed them the fuck on. I put them in front of us and I started spitting. And I started when I went back and listened to the shit, I go, why can't I hear him very fucking well? Well, because I had the fucking thing turned around backwards and they weren't even talking into the microphone the right way. But that's the trial and error. That's the energy that you have to put into the shit. That's what you have to, those are the ups and the downs, the woes, the learning experience, the time put in, all that type of shit, editing a podcast. My very first couple of podcasts my first few podcasts, it took me fucking an hour and a half, 2 hours to edit a podcast. And now it's like, I can do one. I can edit a podcast in 20 minutes because I figured out I had
20 minutes.
I had a
Marsola, you hear that?
Yeah. I finally figured out a system, you know. I put a system into play for me, you know, where I have my commercials over already set and cut and edited, and I have my intro music already kind of, so it's just kind of drag and this,
It's like
and
a little
that.
template you created
Bingo.
for yourself.
Yeah, but that takes time. It took me like I didn't even know how to fucking
That's experience for you.
yeah, I didn't even know how to edit. Like, I found this song and I'm like, okay, how do you edit it? How do you fade it in? Like, it took me an hour to figure out how to just do that shit.
But I love that shit. That's the type of shit that I like. You know what I mean? That the fact that you're able and we have the capabilities to do stuff like that, right? Like, it's just about putting the effort into it.
Yeah.
And that's all that really you did, right? Was
Yep.
is just put the effort into wanting to do it. And honestly, I mean, the setup is legit. Shit sounds fucking nice. And
Yeah,
Appreciate
pristine.
it. I keep hearing, I know you guys probably don't hear, but I keep hearing, you hear that? You can hear
burning a little
fucking
bit.
everything on these microphones,
Bro,
man.
which I appreciate.
Yeah, that's a lifesaver
It's
right
fucking
there.
Yeah.
cold
Oh
out here
yeah,
right now.
it gets fucking cold out here. Yeah, I've done them here, man, where that's not on. And did you guys come up this way over here on this Wells Road or something? Yeah,
Yeah.
that road is pretty. I don't know. It's half a mile away from here. You can hear the fucking cops going down it and shit on these things. It's insane
Yeah,
how
shit.
sensitive these things are. But
These are nice.
it's the learning thing, man.
Yeah.
It's the, you know, I just pick, and I think the most important part of it is you have to enjoy it. You know, you got to enjoy it. I know we're talking about it's a grind, it's a hustle, it's a motivation, it's a keep going thing, it's stressful thing, it's all
But
of
if
that
you don't
stuff.
like it,
That's it. You got to if you have to be able to, well, you don't have to do shit. Don't listen to me when I say that. But I mean, in order for you to keep really fucking going on, at least what fuels me is that I enjoy doing it. I enjoy sitting here having a conversation with Ruben. And I enjoy hearing about LunaVision and where you guys started and our connection with, like, I mean, I enjoy doing that type of stuff.
Yeah,
you know what
for
I'm
sure.
saying? And then I enjoy going back to the lab and kind of fucking with it and making it sound like something cooler later on, or
Fuck
just
yeah.
bringing it all together and shit. You know, I enjoy doing that because I'm a learner. You know, I like to feed myself. When you were talking about diving in on the YouTube learning shit, man, if in today's world, we're old, Ruben. I used to have to go to the fucking library and look in the encyclopedia and shit. Yeah. They used to come knocking on our doors. Would you like to buy the Britannical encyclopedia, whatever the fuck it was? They used to try and sell you encyclopedias at your front door.
Know what the fuck
Yeah, you don't even know what that shit is. They had fucking A through Z, and some of them were like, it was just it was just way back in the day. And now it's so convenient to feed
For sure.
yourself with education and how to like better yourself that if you don't,
it's all, I like that. If you don't, it's
if you don't, it's
you
on
don't
you,
really
I
want it.
guess.
You don't really want it.
Exactly. If you don't, it's on you because it's there. I mean, tell me. I mean, unless who doesn't have a damn computer in their hand nowadays, you
Bro,
know?
One night we're doing a photo shoot at his house. He has this new light. He's trying to figure it out. And he says, fuck it.
can't figure it out.
Look this up for me. I looked it up. It was like a 2-minute, 30-second YouTube video.
And
I'm holding it there for him. And he's like, boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go.
All right,
Done.
Yeah.
That's it. There's a video out there, there's a website, there's an article, there's something
There's
that
everything,
somebody
man.
has posted out there it may not give you the exact it may not be the perfect scenario where it's a 2-minute video that shows you step by step on how to do it, but it might be a 5-minute video that's that was the fucking piece. That's what I was missing, you
And I was
know?
gonna say there, you'll find the piece that you were missing.
Bingo.
'Cause, I mean, if it's not on that one video, go to another video,
Yeah.
and that probably has something that was missing from that first video. So you kind of start piecing the
Piece it
pieces together,
man. Yeah.
and you know,
Self-taught, man. There's so much information out there now for people to better themselves. It's really at your disposal on how you're going to go about it, you know?
and you know, to that point is I saw 2020 and that whole pandemic bullshit that happened.
It wasn't with Chris Hansen and them killing it wasn't that type of shit, was it?
Nah. That pretty much, you know, that the world kind of took a pause, right? We were all kind of fucking forced to fucking not do shit and stay at home, unfortunately. And honestly, I just took advantage of that time. You know, like the time kind of like the world stopped for a moment, and you either educated yourself and try to level up and sharpen some skills, and you know, just take it for what it is. And I mean, if I'm gonna be at home not doing shit, well, I got on my YouTube University tip, educated myself, and really just sharpened my skills. So when fucking shit finally kind of popped off. It was like all of a sudden, like it was from night and day that, you know,
Yep.
it was just like, you know, it shocked a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, fool, like you really fucking, you know, really doing some cool shit with your video stuff. And
Yeah.
it just happened. And it was just because I was fucking grinding it out like a little nerd
Yeah.
during that little off period and stuff like that. So
There's windows of opportunity everywhere, man. And
I took it as a window of opportunity.
I know we say, and I say it still, COVID sucked.
That shit was, that's why I say it was a
Yeah.
fucked up
It
shit,
was
but
a
I
fucked up
took
shit,
advantage
yeah.
of it. And in the sense of like, shit, you're
Yep.
either gonna chill here the same way and we're just gonna ride it out, not do nothing, or you're gonna do something.
Yep.
And I said, fuck it, I'm gonna educate myself with this particular craft that I'm working on at the moment. And you know,
I don't even how many businesses started, people starting a business because either they were locked up or not locked up like in prison and shit, but they were locked up in their house going
damn
like
near close to,
yeah,
to
that
prison.
was-
That was
that
close to prison.
hey, if all you white people never been on house arrest, I was motherfucking house
That was
arrest.
house arrest, my boy.
That was house arrest, man. And not that white people don't go on house arrest. We're just fucking around here. We're just busting balls. But
Yeah.
if you've never been on house arrest,
Shit,
that's what
we
house
damn
arrest was.
near got that shit, bro. Force fed
Yeah,
to us.
that
and
was
to,
it.
to children too, to everybody.
yeah,
Nobody was spared for
everybody.
that shit.
But it showed me, it proved to me that hey, if here's an opportunity, like you saying, you got to take advantage of the opportunities
Take
that you're
advantage.
presented. You can always make better of any situation.
It's make a negative into a positive.
That's
bro.
it,
Like
man.
I
It's
said,
all
'cause, but
mindset.
Damn near that. I mean, there ain't no denying that shit was a negative. But I
Mhm.
mean, I wasn't gonna just sit here and be like, oh,
Well, there's a lot of people that lost their jobs because the economy took a shit and all that stuff.
You know,
But I as just as many, not just as many, but when I say there's a lot of people that lost them, there's also a lot of people that lost their jobs and now have a totally something new that
Better.
fuck, that was a blessing. That was I didn't need that job. Look what it opened my eyes to
Yup.
go and do, you know, and sometimes it's a good thing, but you really always get what you put in.
yeah,
It's what that shit fucking boils down to, you know.
facts.
So what's up with West Coast Dinas, man? Who
Oh well, West Coast.
I like
Dinas?
that shit.
Yeah. It's a clothing brand that that's kind of doing that did a collaboration with Espinosa. So I pretty much the way it happened was I went to shoot for Peachy. At
You'll be here on
Espinosa.
Saturday too.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I know with Bianca and all that the whole crew. So so I pretty much she hired me. Me and Bianca, Peachy had been like, you know, had a social media relationship on like, you know, Instagram. We liked each other's stuff. She worked with the shop Cultura Custom Cycles over in Wilmington. And that's how I kind of got to know her. And she's like, hey man, I like your videos. You down to shoot my custom vest video that I'm getting done over at Espinosa. So I did, you know, like a cool little Instagram reel for her.
Dope.
So I met, you know, Eric, and that's how I kind of got introduced with Eric and the whole gang. Obviously, I knew who Espinosa Leather was, but that was my first introduction to them personally.
Right.
So with that, Eric had a collaboration with this West Coast Dina on a flannel jacket. So
Dope.
it's a Espinosa West Coast Dina collaborative jacket. It's super sick. It has like snap off
Super sick.
liner.
Color is it?
It's like a earthy green one, like an olive
Nice.
green, and then they have like a black and gray one.
Dope.
So they needed to get obviously some marketing shots. So
Yeah.
Eric was like, hey, you know, my boy Luna Vision just did some shit for Peachy. You should hit these guys up. So these guys pretty much were more or less hiring me for that video, and that was one of the guys who I was kind of chopping it up with about like a retainer service and stuff like that. And he was just like, you know what, I'm sold. Sign me up before I get like, you know, shit SOL and I don't even have the opportunity to work with you. So he was actually, shout out to West Coast Dina.
Dope.
They were my first retainer before I even, like I said, had anything. But yeah, they're cool guys. It's a, you know, it's a motorcycle brand.
Of course.
Specific to, you
Specifically
know,
for Dinas.
to Dyna. So the Willy motherfuckers, the stunners and stuff like that, you know, check them out, guys. And you know, definitely, you know, they cool dudes. And yeah, so
I'll have to check out the page. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, definitely tap in with them. You know, cool guys. You got somebody out here in Marietta, kind of like Riverside area, and then you got the other guy over like in West Virginia in the East Coast. You know,
Oh,
kinda
they're a
same-
little kind of
yeah,
okay.
they're called the owners and stuff like that. So you know, one of them
Gotcha.
handles over there, you know, promotes over there, and the other one kind of promotes over here on this side. So
That's
I
dope.
got brought on you know, to just handle their content for, you know, the monthly basis. And
Good deal, man.
yeah,
so their
pretty
their
cool
page
guys.
looks good.
Their page looks good.
Yeah.
Are you handling the page?
Yeah,
You're doing the page stuff
I'm
as well?
managing. Yeah, that's pretty much what the retainer services is. I schedule their posts and
Gotcha.
take video and photos, and this you'll see this guy being featured in a lot of the stuff.
Okay,
So
cool.
again,
cool.
we got that little circle of people of
Yep.
collective of photographer, videographer, models, and we just help each other out with whatever endeavors that we have and stuff like that. So
That's
yeah,
dope, man.
you'll see him on various of my stuff.
You a model now, Ruben?
We were just talking about that.
I told him until I sign a contract and I'm fucking getting paid, I'm having fun with some badass photographers, getting pictures taken, and
Is it weird to you at first?
It still is.
Yeah.
He so the way everything started was this guy was supposed to be in an art show for photography. He was going to submit some pictures. And he said, "Hey, let me take a picture of you with your uncle's car." My uncle had a 65 convertible Impala at the time.
Nice car.
He's all, "We'll just go shirtless." I'm all tattooed up. So went to my uncle's alley. Shout out Weddle's Mobile Detailing in Lomita.
There you go.
And took some pictures and came out pretty good. And
that's when all the brands started hitting. Like, hey man, you know what?
Yeah.
How about you put on this T-shirt for us? You know what I
So-
mean?
There you
and
go.
then it was always this guy. "Hey, let's do this.
Hey
let's do
Jaime,
this, let's
can you
do
take
this."
some pictures of me with this brand? Hey Jaime, can you take a picture of me with this other brand? And that's what kind of kickstarted my career and got my name out there. And
Oh.
obviously with that came these people need work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, who can we get your boy to do it? And obviously that's where I started getting paid. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like thanks to this guy, that kind of kickstarted that stuff and got me rolling and stuff and got
Hooked
me
up
the
with
experience where
Mohawk
I'm
Matt.
Mohawk
Out
Matt,
of SFE. He's a
Yeah, I think you
Solon
just-
clothing guy. He really helped
with me.
push this guy on
Yeah.
photos and helped in the early days of
Dope.
getting the name out there.
Yeah. You just reposted that you guys were going to be on here and stuff, and
Yeah.
I when we're how it works when you're not friends with somebody or we never got a message from him. It
Mhm.
says a request, so it caught my attention. And when I
Yeah.
get one like that, I'm like, oh, dope, man. I always like to thank people for doing that shit because one, they don't have to do it, but it's like the simplest, easiest way to
the
support
thing, and
people.
the cool thing about it is because he has a following. He's a very popular guy, and he'll do stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
and that's what that circle of the individuals that we keep mentioning of, where we're just all like that, and which is a blessing to have friends like that, right? And a
Mhm.
group of people like that, and you know how it is when you're really into stuff, you eventually start taking people out of your lives because they're kind of they don't bring any positivity into your life, so you kind of X them out.
Basically, because they're a fucking weak league.
I feel you, man.
Get rid of them motherfuckers quick.
Yeah, but good thing we have a good.
I know about that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm lucky enough to have this group of people who we built who are all about uplifting each other and taking care of each other any way
Yeah.
we can. Like a simple repost, right? And that to me, when that Matt guy would do that in the beginning of me taking pictures of him, like he put money in my pocket because
Mhm.
obviously these people who since he has a following, they need hey, I need a photo taken or I need video taken, I need a event covered because I have an event coming up, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that's kind of how I started. And so shout out to him for even doing that, because again, a simple repost could go a long way for a lot of people, and it does,
Because you never know who it
testament.
reaches.
You
You
never know
don't
who it
know who the
reaches.
audience is. You don't know who follows him and who sees it, and then they go, "Well, what's that?" And then that's the cause and effect of that shit, man. And that's why I'm a big advocate for that. I do my best to try and like, hey, thank you, appreciate it. Thanks, homie. When someone reposts anything of ours, because I as a business understand. I know what it means to me, and I know what it does to help, and it doesn't cost them anything. It didn't cost me anything, and it's like, oh, I see you, man. You like what we're doing, or you just support what this is, or you're supporting your homeboys that are going to be on the show, because that shit just goes so far, man. That is how the social media shit works.
That's the beautiful thing about it, man.
Yeah. It's a really, social media is a really, it's a fucked up thing, but it's a beautiful thing. It's a good and a bad thing,
Yeah,
it's
for
got,
sure.
We've made a lot of solid people through social media.
yeah.
Like the guy that was talking shit earlier, Daniel Marsola.
What'd he say?
He's just giving us shit because we're
We're
late.
late.
Oh, good.
You know,
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
met him and another solid dude, Calco 5522 out of Colorado there with a beard company called Bupo Beard Oils. And they've supported us since we've met, and they're not into motorcycles. They're not heavily tattooed like me. And, you know, we just met up and we linked up, and they've had our backs and repost shit.
Mhm.
And, you know, like Calco, he lives out in Colorado. He didn't have to post the shit that's going down here in LA.
Mm-hmm.
He reposts everything. Anything that we tag the guy on, he'll fucking repost for us.
But that's what I'm saying is that
Oh,
you guys in Colorado, right? But he may have, I don't know how many followers he has, but let's just, whatever, let's throw a number out. He may have 50 followers that are in LA.
Yeah.
And that's how they find out
Yeah.
about Strive for Glory. That's how they find out about Lunavision. That's why it's important for, us when we get that type of stuff. If you're in fucking New York, it doesn't matter because people are connected in all different ways.
Well,
So
through them, we've got connections out in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
Illinois,
dude,
Philadelphia, Florida. It's that they're beard guys and they all have beards and they're all worldwide.
that's
And
it.
they
We're gonna
all
have to get
support
you
us.
some shit.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Some
know.
nice
I need
little
some
oil.
nice little
I
beard
got
oil,
you,
some wax and
yeah.
shit or something. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
I can relate to that though, man, because
Yeah.
through this podcast, New Zealand, Cambodia, all over the United States, Canada.
and look, and it's
I've talked to people all over the place.
and it's motorcycle related, so it's like that tight knit community too. So that's that's the beauty of the industry that you're kind of in. That it's like that motorcycle community. So it's like, it ain't like any other community, And I could say that because I've been in like the rock, music world. I've been in the rapper music video, like in the rapper world and stuff like that, and like there's different communities and there's different
niches and all that.
and
Yep.
stuff like that. And the motorcycle industry for sure has been like the most like tight knit community that I could say. And I mean, I've just been involved with it like really deeply in like 3 years. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I could say that it's good people are you typically surrounded in this community, and I got nothing but like positive things to say about it.
I don't ride, but
You feel it.
I go to
Yeah.
places and I got
Oh, yeah.
people come up to us and say, "You need anything? Let us know."
Yep.
You're good.
Yeah.
I got people
Honestly,
checking
for
on me
instance, just
all
like the
time.
Chopper Fest, bro. Like I was on the way back because I want to go.
Wait, you guys were at Chopper Fest?
I was at Chopper Fest.
Yeah.
I know. I missed your guys'
I was about to. I'm gonna call you out right now.
No.
Were you were running one or no? Did
No,
you?
I
You
was-
did.
No.
with
He
him.
was look.
So I'm gonna call you both out right now.
No. To my excuse, I was out there working. for
Okay, all
Espinosa.
right. But you could. Okay,
I
all
was
right.
working, so I was just.
You get a card. You
I
get a
was-
card.
I was on the clock. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. You,
But
I had my
I wrote,
youngest son with me. There we go.
but I rode out my bike over there, and obviously successfully. I've been having some issues with my bike, some electrical issues, which are the worst. You know what I mean?
The
I think
worst.
it's a stator or some shit. Some dumb. It's annoying. You know what I mean? Killing my battery all the time. And
Let
shit.
me know when you're
So-
ready to fucking handle that.
Yeah.
We'll help you out. here,
Hell yeah, man. So pretty much, I got there fine, no problem. I mean, I think I had like a one time where I pumped. We were on PCA. We went through PCH and stuff, and we stopped at a gas station. And when I turned it on, it kind of was like a, but it turned on. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I kind of already sensed that it was gonna give me problems. So on the way back, sure enough, it fucking went out on me. We fucking push started. Fucking, I was rolling. And right around here, around Ventura, like not maybe like 15 minutes away from over here. Fuck. Motherfucking just completely. I was going like 90 because I was just trying to get home, bro. I was just like, I already had a feeling. And no, man, that thing completely just died on me, man. I was like, as I was giving it gas, bro, that shit was going slower. And I was just like, fuck. But I was rolling with this group of guys that I just recently met, like locals only guys. It's a group of like guys that kind of ride out in like Lawndale area.
Okay.
They do like same day tire service, and they just a bunch of like local dudes that just like all walks of life. Honestly, like dude, I saw some dude the other day. They were like with that group I was rolling with. It was like some like aerospace like engineer dude, like just all walks of life and stuff like that. And ultimately dudes like pretty much took care of me. I had just met him that day officially because I had met him on Instagram. And so it was just like one of those things like, hey man, you down to ride with us? And I was just like, sure, I have to go there anyway, so I'm down to ride with you guys. Like, why not? You know what I mean? So I did, and like dudes left. So obviously we stopped and got myself to a gas station, pushed it through. And ultimately one of the guys left to his job, got his work truck, left his bike at his work, job, came through with his truck, got my bike up there, took me to my house.
Oh.
Then this guy still had to go to Phoenix like the next day. So left his bike there for 3 days at his job, risking it, in a sense, It's not in the privacy of his house, It's a bike. Motherfuckers could really carry that shit if they really wanted to, you know what I mean?
And they really want to.
And motherfuckers really want to. And he had a nice ass a nice little carbureted little sporty that he had, I think like 100th anniversary or something like that. But yeah, he was real nice. And like I said, a guy who I just met that day, just to go to the point that you had originally mentioned earlier, which is like the people in the motorcycle community are just real tight knit. They take care of each other. That was just a perfect example of people who I just met on social media. Again, social media is a crazy fucking tool.
Yeah.
And they went above and beyond. Like I didn't have to hit up AAA, none of that shit. And you know how it is with AAA and motorcycles. You're gonna wait a long time again.
Day, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's just a testament to the fact that people in this community are like fucking badass. You got me on here. Appreciate you for getting me on.
It's kind of a unwritten rule that it's a unwritten rule, but it's one that we live by.
You pull over, bro, and you
no
take
man
care
left
of
behind.
Yeah.
No man left behind.
And they kept saying that, you know what I mean? And I was just like, damn, like respect as fuck, you know.
We had a homie do the same, man. Recently we had a homie go down, unfortunately. And there was a group of us, man, that were on this ride, and he went down, and we had to wait for his pops to come and bring a trailer or bring the truck and stuff, and it was going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours and all that stuff. And they were like, oh, you guys can go, you don't have to wait. And we're like, no, man, we're gonna make sure the bike's loaded, that we get it on the truck, and that you're on the road and you're taken care of, and like we're not just gonna bounce, we'll wait here. We'll wait here. That's just the way we roll, man. There's just no man left behind. We take care of our people. Yeah, put a damper on the day, but now the priority is get you home, get your bike home, make sure that everyone's fucking home safe and sleeping in their bed tonight. Yeah. Your priorities change, things change, things happen. And so
it was Super Bowl weekend, right? Like these guys, we left at a time where we were supposed to make it to our homes or to our destinations to go watch that shit. Fucking, we got we had to wait a good minute to get the guy to get the work truck. So these guys went to go get some Modelos, fucking we kicked back.
Watch it on the phone if you want, man.
And we did. That's what we did, man. And they didn't have to do that shit.
That's it.
I told them I was just gonna hit AAA, but they were just like, nah, bro, what you talking about? Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, they felt almost disrespected.
Yeah.
That I was telling them not to help me in this sense. You know what I mean? So like,
well, we said on it a little bit earlier. You said you like to go on the long rides.
Yeah.
But this is just another example to like, it's not about the destination, it's about the ride. And on my rides, I've gone on giant group rides, long distance, state to state, and the things that I always remember most about a ride are the breakdowns. I mean, they happen. But the side road fucking laughs, busting your balls on the side of the road, or taking apart an entire primary on the side of the road, or fucking fixing a flat, or I don't know, whatever it is that broke or whatever it is that we got to fix. I can probably go back on every single one of my rides and go, oh yeah, I remember when that shit happened. Where were we going? I don't know if I can remember, but I remember what happened on the side of the road. Like, that is more of like when you get into it and you start riding and stuff, that's really what you'll
1,000%, man.
If that's what you can fucking now, not that we don't want to break down. We don't want, that's not the goal, is to fucking break down.
We do not want to break down.
But when it does happen, take it for what it is. Don't fucking take, it ends up bringing fucking road beers on the side of the fucking road and just a little experience. You'll remember. Oh fuck, Chopper Fest of 2023. Oh shit, that was Super Bowl Sunday. Oh fuck, like that's what you'll remember more than the fucking Chopper Fest or whatever else the fuck you were doing.
I used to be into old cars. I used to have a '65 Chevy back in the day, and I remember every time I fucking broke down. Yeah. I remember every time I ran memories, out of gas.
Man. Like it's badass.
It sucks. It's fun though, huh? It's kind of fun, man. Are you a gearhead? Are you are you a tinker?
A little bit.
Yeah. See, I enjoy that.
I know a little bit.
Enough to get you in trouble is what they say.
Yeah.
I am. If you didn't notice, I got a whole top end of an engine here taken apart. Yeah. So I like geek out on that type of stuff. I enjoy the mechanical aspect of it. So like when that happens on the side of the road, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. If I can take the gloves off, let me roll my sleeves up.
You like that?
I
shit.
enjoy that shit, you know.
I got friends that go to Glamis and shit like that. You know, they do
Yeah.
all the fucking off road and shit, and they get one of the guys is like the mechanic guy. So anytime
Yeah.
anybody breaks down, motherfucker's ready. Like
Yep.
just like, and the thing about it is, like, dude, all he needs is just that like basic little kit.
Yep.
And he'll get it done.
I got a tool bag in my bag that I carry. Just it rolls up, right? And I can damn near take apart almost a whole fucking motorcycle with just that little roll up thing. And my friends will bust my balls all the time, rightfully so, because when I told you it's a 50-footer, it's good, but it's a piece of shit. It's a jalopy. It's a hoopty a little bit, you know. It's not a hoopty. I take that back, but it's
It's that black one back there.
no, that one,
No,
that fucking bagger,
That's the bagger.
the bagger, man. Like my
that badass bikes.
yeah, that mother, yeah, my buddies will bust my balls because I am always the one that's like, oh, it's fucking race bike that broke down or something, you know. But what, oddly enough, I don't think I've ever had it towed home. One time because the stator took a shit.
The Stator's
and
a
what I
killer,
did-
right?
Well, and the only reason I did, and I was stupid with it. I'm like, fuck it, keep riding, blah, blah, and I kept going, and
That was me.
that was stupid.
That was me.
I knew what it was, and I'm like, I'll make it home, and I just
That was
fucking
me.
instead of turning around to go that way, I'm like, I probably got another 50 miles in this bitch before it'll really die because I'm pretty mechanically inclined. I'm like, I know what's going on. I'm like,
Yep.
I got about 50 miles. We're just gonna have to deal with jumping it every once in a while because it's gonna die. And then I made it like
There's a point.
30 miles.
There's a point of no return.
Yeah,
When it comes down to that Stator.
But other than that, dude, I've always been not in a boastful or way or anything like that. Just in a comfortable way where it's like my mom trips out on it. My mom's is a mom, right? And so the moms worry. That's what they do. And so when I'm telling her I'm going to go do a 1K or I'm going to go do a fucking this long ass ride, she's like, oh, what if you break down? And I'm like, Mom, that oddly enough, that's like,
that's the least of my worries.
that's really the least.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can't really, well, not like boastfully, but there's nothing that I probably haven't. I built the bike. I know the ins and outs of it. I know like the back of my hand. I know if what's wrong. I know when it doesn't even feel right. And so
Right.
I'm always confident that I can fix it and get myself moving back up on the road, you know? So I don't know, man. That's part of the journey with it, man. That is really a good part of the fun for me. I love riding it and I love mobbing down the coast and having homeboys behind me or next to me and just like that feeling. But I'm always like, okay, who's gonna break down? Who's gonna break down? Like, what's gonna happen today? You know, like I want to fix it. You know,
and that's why I got that 21 Street Glide because I just was so like I did not want to do that. I wanted to ride, bro. Like I wanted to ride. That's why I have the different bikes, right? And I want to get the different bikes because they're all gonna have that serve different purposes, right? Like
Yep.
when I do go on that long trip, right, in the future,
not in
I
the
think
future. I'll bring you on one.
you know, I think I'm gonna pick up the bagger that's the brand new one versus the one that's for like the city. You know what I mean?
I
Because
feel
you
ya.
know that risk factor and stuff like that to avoid that breakdown if necessary, if you can. You know what I mean? Obviously, not everybody is
Well, no, you
able
want.
to. But,
Trust
you
me,
know.
I want a reliable, and it's reliable. I'm talking shit about my bike. I'm sorry, baby. I don't mean
bro.
too
You
much.
shitting
I
on
don't
that
mean too
nice-ass
much. I don't mean. She's never left me stranded. She's always done me
He's over
good.
here complaining about one of 72 bikes that he got. That
Yeah, I know.
I don't even have fucking one.
There's the factor of reliability that's always a good thing to have, just peace of mind type shit. But I love that shit, man. I love getting my hands a little bit dirty and shit, you know. So, but we're gonna have you guys both. You're coming down. I know
Yeah,
you're vending
I'll
here
be
on
there- I'll be there all
Saturday,
day Saturday.
and then Bianca told me that
I'll be
you were coming down for. I don't. What are you?
Lunavision will be making. an
Lunavision will be in the house.
I'll be making a little feature there. So I'll be pretty much showing up like pretty much bright and early. I know you guys are doing some stuff early on, you know. So I'll just be there to capture some stuff, you know,
Dope,
for
man.
Bianca, Peachy, and all that. Obviously, you're gonna be a part of that, so you know I'll be seeing you guys there, and then you know shortly after I'll be heading over to the home stadium for that LAFC.
Oh, you got. There's a game
yeah.
that night.
It's the home season opener.
Oh
So
shit!
yeah,
what
yeah.
time's that at?
that's gonna be like at 1:30, like something like that. So I'll be over there like you know like 8 or something.
Okay.
Be there till like maybe like 11 or something.
I got
Make it
you.
over there.
Head on out. Yeah, I got already
Yeah.
full day planned.
Full day plan.
That's
you
what's
know,
up,
so
man.
it's pretty cool.
I'm
Exciting
hoping
day.
for a good turnout, man. It's our first event as Throttled Roots. I've thrown events before, collaboratively with a couple of other buddies, just like, hey, let's do something. And we did something. But
this event
as a brand, I want to be like so humble about it, but I feel
it's buzzing, bro.
I feel that it is.
It's buzzing.
But you never know until day of, right?
Yeah.
You know, you never until you show up at an event and go, oh shit.
I see a lot of the ladies reposting it and
Mhm.
stuff, and the ladies are fucking killing it right now.
Absolutely.
And they're all supporting the shit out of each other. So with them throwing it out there, you know the dudes are gonna come out there and come see all these ladies. Get the calendar from Cat.
Oh, for
Cat's
sure.
gonna
Yeah,
be
Cat's
out there,
coming out. Yep.
You know, so
It's gonna be I'm hoping it's gonna be a day we're gonna have a band there, or not a band. We're gonna have we asked if we can do a band, but then that requires permits and it requires other things
All
when
that
you start
stuff.
doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But we will have a DJ there, and we'll have all the vendors strive for glory. We'll have 2 food vendors there, bike show. We got some really cool fucking skateboards painted by my homeboy.
Oh yeah, I saw
Art,
that
man.
for the
I
awards. Sheesh.
when that's our buddy Danny. Actually, he painted that one right there. See that Pismo run right
Oh,
there?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
so
one you showed as an example. on that
exactly.
live,
Yeah. So we when my homeboy Danny is actually the one that is really connected with him and goes back with him, and he's like, hey, let me see if I can get Art to like do some custom skateboard for us. And I'd be like, because we were talking about that one, and I go, fuck, that would be so fucking cool.
Oh,
And when he
yeah.
threw him the idea, he's all, fuck yeah, Art's all about it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's gonna be cool. And then I thought, well, okay, it's not easy. It's not just like and like be done with it. I honestly thought he was just gonna do like a template. He was gonna make something kind of like same color, same thing, and then he was gonna put Bagger, Dyna, and just they were gonna look the same, but just Bagger, Dyna.
They were all custom.
And then when he sent us like the first video and they saw it, or the first thing, I was like, fuck, Art, like you went, each one of them is
It's
fucking
unique.
different. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, dog, I want one. Can
That's a lot of
That's an
work,
artsy
dude.
guy.
and that's he's like us. It's not his full time.
That's
It's not
badass.
his. It's not his full time. He's a
Yeah.
he's a metal fabricator. I think by normal like his day to day like trade and like his day job and stuff.
Sick.
It's more of I think like a hobbyist is what he calls his
Fuck.
paintwork and shit, man. So
That's
he got
not-
down on it,
They
man.
don't
I'm
look hobbyist quality.
no, not at all, man.
Oh.
He gets down on his stuff, man. He's a good painter. So I'm excited for it, man. I'm just anxious. I think
You just have to. It's like they're like like you're getting married and shit. Like
it's
you
the
know,
build up a little
it's the
bit,
build up. You're like,
and it
fuck.
and it was like so it happened pretty quick actually. We went to like the thing with Bianca or the podcast and everything with them. We were really gonna just my idea was to do it like here and just
Okay.
like we are right now.
Right.
But I wanted to bring all these girls and like because I got 3 daughters, and so I was like, oh man, I want to talk to some women about a little. I want to give them a platform. I want
Right.
to give them a place to like spit and go like, hey, this is why I got into it. Fuck what you think or what you think on because of what you see on a screen and the whatever thoughts
You're
you
being perceived.
exactly whatever people are perceiving them as through a screen. I was like, no, fuck these. I'm watching it, and I know Peachy rides, I know Bianca rides, I know Mercedes from down San Diego fucking is riding cross state lines and do it like I'm like, nah, I want
some riders.
I want to give them an opportunity, not like because I'm the only one that can, but I'm like, I want to hear it first and foremost, but I want to give you a platform to go, hey, let's spit on this shit and let the world know, let all these motherfuckers know, like, no, it's a real fucking deal shit, So I was looking forward to that and just doing it. We were going to do it here and just kind of like we were going to do it like on a Saturday afternoon, maybe do a little ride around here and then come back and do this. And then it just kind of snowballed into like, well, what if and then we went to Harley and we pitched it to them. We're like, we got this idea for this. And honestly, we walked into Harley going, man, they're going to fucking laugh us out of here, man. They ain't going to fucking listen to us or anything like that. And Amber and Dre over there who've been our contacts with that stuff, we pitched them what we had, the idea that we had, and they were open to it. They liked what they heard. And then they're like, well, I think we went to them at the end of January. I think it was like the last week of January. And they're like, well, we have some availability in March. And we're like, March what? 4th. That's like fucking like 5 or 6 weeks. And they're like, that's when we have available. Like, we don't have anything else. Like, that's the time that we have. We're like,
Y'all made it happen, though.
dude, we fucking looked at each other. We're like, hey, windows of opportunity, man. Don't let them fucking pass,
Nope.
So let's get to fucking work, man. And so we went back to the drawing board and we're like, let's do it, man. Let's just start pulling. Let's see what we can do. We got friends, we got contacts. Let's start calling vendors. Let's fucking blow this shit up. We want it to be a good event for us because we want people to know who we are and what we do, and we want people to come and see, like, fuck, look at these motherfuckers. They brought all these bikes and all these people, but we also wanted to bring people like you and like Chopper Kings and Vatos y Viklas and like even some local people. My homegirl Lady Shays, who does like desserts, we're like, hey, we want to bring people to a spot, but we want to bring people to a spot to help you guys out as well. We want to fucking put some money in your pocket, and we want people to see your name and shit as well. So we just went to fucking work, man. We just fucking went to the table, we sat down, and we're like, okay, what do we do? And shit just started snowballing, man. And that's what happens when you work with a good team, right? That's what happens when you surround yourself with like good, positive people that have their eyes on the prize. Because have you guys put an event together? Just
it's funny that you say that I'm
Here
actually
we go.
throwing my
I want in.
You're hearing it
Uh,
first.
I'm pretty much gonna be throwing my first like kind of like art show. So like
Fuck
I'm really
yeah.
into like, you know, artsy fartsy ass shit. You know, I'm really into like music. I'm affiliated because I used to be like in a rock band growing up. You know what I mean? So like I'm really
What'd you
heavily
play?
I was in a guitar.
Guitar,
Right, so
okay.
that was the guitar player.
Acoustic, electric, both.
Electric, hardcore, metal music. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Screaming
okay.
shit. You know what I mean? But I really have been helping out, you know, now at this stage with now my new craft of taking video. Growing up, I didn't have, you know, rock bands don't really get too many quality style videographers wanting to work with them and stuff like that. So like I wanted to kind of tap into that. And so I'm working with like a friend, Chucky, who's in a band called Desmadre, who they kind of only been around for a year.
Okay.
They've only have 5 songs.
Rock?
And
Is it
rock?
okay.
Yeah, like punk rock, you know, like hardcore music. And I've made pretty much every single one of their videos.
Fuck yeah.
But it's been, you know, shot in a specific way where we only do like a minute video. We don't do the full video for like, you know, for reasons of like people's attention span are very short nowadays. So, you know, what we'll go ahead and do is a teaser of a dope ass fucking video that looks like a music video, and then it's like go check out the rest of the video on the Spotify's and shit like that.
Exactly.
So I work with them, and then I have a rapper friend who I also have like, you know, video, and these are all people who I do work for like damn near free. You know what I mean? And I do
These
it,
are
you know,
people.
because they're helping me out with the opportunity to learn with them and, you know, learn how to shoot music videos and stuff like that. So I saw a short film just recently that actually features this guy right here. And that short film, it features that Desmadre band. It features this rapper that I just mentioned to you about, named Donnie Waters. And pretty much I decided to throw an art show that will actually have featuring them to perform. I'll have photographers, you know, having all their artwork displayed there. So, you know, you'll walk around and see all the artwork, as well as we'll have actually a screening for short films, which will be, I'll have feature my short film there. And I'll have actually pretty much videographers from like San Diego. I got like To The Brain, who works a lot with Servants. And then I got some guys from Arizona and pretty much very artsy kind of videographers that, you know, I see that are, you know, very, you know,
Carefully selected.
they're very carefully selective, you know, of the style, you know, that we want in it. So that's gonna be in May 13th. It's gonna be in Boyle Heights. Again, this is all kind of like a work in progress. There's gonna be a flyer and all that stuff. Gonna go on and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's gonna be like an art show, music performances with short film screenings is ultimately what it's gonna be. Man. And you know, again, the name of the event. And all that.
Do you have a name yet?
We do not have the name yet. Okay. All we do is just have the venue locked in. So we have the venue.
That's the hardest part.
So the name and all that stuff. So we got, you know, a couple, you know, we gave ourselves like a next week and a half to come up with that name. It's this guy named Lawless Photography. He's been kind of like my partner in this whole thing, which is actually a guy who I got plugged in with Bianca. Thanks to Bianca. She kind of made that connection for us. And kind of, you know, after that, we kind of, you know, took it from there. So you know, we no name yet. Obviously, my last name is Luna Vision. So like, I'm trying to play around with that a little bit for this particular show.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Well, congratulations on that, man.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, put in the work, man, and you'll get, you know, and I'll be here to help promote it and share it and do whatever I can to get the word out there, man.
I appreciate
a name is important, man. We kicked around the name of Throttle. Well, we didn't kick around Throttled Roots that are around for a while, but we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
And by the way, Throttle Roots,
The hits.
Fucking hits.
All right, good. Because when we were laughing because whatever names we were kicking around before, we don't even remember what they were, but they were so fucking stupid. Like we just couldn't come up. We were trying to like be creative and like use each letter of our name and come up with like a writing. Like my name is Ray, and then there's Danny, and then there's Joe. So we were like riding daily. We were trying to like
you overcomplicated it.
We kind of were, but we were just trying to like, and then Danny we were sitting here, a little powwow, little meeting. Hey, come over to the pad. We got to not nail this name down, but we were meeting without having a name because there were things that we sort of needed to start like working at least. But we need a name. Like the name's got to fucking like, it's got to smack you, like Strive for Glory. I know that's why my wife fucking was like, oh, I don't need that fuck, because it just attracts you. It's kind of it's a statement.
The name alone
It
gives
name-
a messaging. You know
and
what I
like
mean?
you were saying, you were coming up with your guys' name and stuff. Mine, it was when I was starting the brand, I wanted something to have to do with my kids, because ultimately, it would be something that I could be like, all right, boys, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
I did all this. Now you guys fucking carry it on and take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So S4G. So Shane is my oldest son. He plays baseball. He used to wear number 4. So I used the actual 4 instead of FOR. And then the G is for my youngest son, Gavin. So
I like it.
I took their initials and came up with that.
I like it, man. Yeah, the name's got it. The name
Gotta hit.
Like
It gotta hit for sure.
Like, our motto, for the brand, like a lot of people ask like, oh, is it like religious or anything like
Mhm.
that? And no,
it can be though, I guess,
and
like
it's just for basically everybody that's been through shit
Yeah.
in life. And we've all been through shit, more people worse than others, but we've all been through shit at one point. And
Strive for Glory. What is wrong with that? Fucking,
our motto for the brands, we're a brand for those with a story, those who've struggled yet continue to push through and succeed. We are for those who never give up.
Fuck yeah, man.
So it's fucking running the brand's grind.
Mm-hmm. It fits, man. There a name is important. And when we were throwing this around and we were trying to think of names, we were like, no, doesn't hit, doesn't fucking smack you. And then Danny came up and said, it's funny. We'll always remember it because we were standing right here and he goes, Throttled Roots. And we fucking we all just went,
that's it.
Oh, we were like, that's fucking it, dude. And we're like, how'd you come up with that? He goes, he was drinking 805. He's all 805. But I know it was more deeper than that, because then when we were talking about it, we're like, dude, that's it, because we knew what our brand was going to be, like what you have a vision for, like what your motto is, and so Throttled Roots for us hit where it was like, me, Joe, and Danny, that's what we grew up. We grew up around like the bikers and the guys in the garage and like tinkering and riding bikes and stuff. And it's in our roots. It's in our culture. It's rooted into us. And we're like, dude, dude, that's fucking it. And then like, in addition, like I was telling you with Strive for Glory, people, I can totally understand. I'm sure you can too, why people think maybe a little, is there a religious connotation? And when we came up with Throttled Roots, we're like, listen, although Throttled Roots for us is like, it's motorcycle based because that's our first love. But I got a 65 C10 in the back. I got a 63 Mercury Comet. I'm a car guy just as much as not just as much. I'm a motorcycle guy first, but I love mechanical shit. I love classic cars and shit. And that left us the door open to be able not just do motorcycles. It can go to race cars. It can go to fucking classic trucks and classic cars. So it just was like the name. The name does a lot. So I'm with you when you haven't come up with a name yet.
Which is to that point. Shout out to the homies. Friday Mini Motos, which is just like a little mini Grom kind of little crew. Which I definitely recommend to go ahead and check them out. It's pretty much just like every fucking Friday, these guys just meet up in like 60. Like 30 of them just like link up, and then they just ride through all downtown Melrose and just start stunning and busting willies throughout the whole time that they're riding around, and real cool guys and stuff like that. So definitely, and again, it's all because of the that you left it so broad, right? You left that avenue open to be able to talk to different types of motor enthusiasts. I guess you would say, whether it's like a motorcycle, mini bikes, dirt bikes,
Yep.
NASCAR,
Whatever it
cars,
may
you know
be.
what I mean?
Fucking
That's
boats,
badass.
UTVs, whatever, man.
So I like the fact that you guys left it like that, where it's like open and not so close, where it's okay, there's a motorcycle related word thrown in there.
Yeah.
Where now you're forced to kind of keep it motorcycle
Yeah.
related because it's that
Throttle goes for
Yeah.
fucking anything, man. So I feel you, man. A name is a name when it comes to, because that's the first thing people hear. Then they see the logo, and then they kind of, if the name doesn't tell them like what it is, and they're like, oh, I want to hear more about that. Then you lose them before you even had a chance at them, type shit, you know.
Yeah,
so
definitely
think about that name, man. I'm excited to hear what you're going to come up with. I'm sure whatever
Yeah.
come up with, when I see it and I hear it, I'm going to go, oh yeah, baby, that's what it was. He put some thought into it.
Yeah,
He
man.
nailed it, you know.
Yeah, I'm
'cause,
excited,
like,
man.
I guarantee you, he's not gonna fucking pick a name until it's like, until he's
Until
like,
it's
all right,
the day.
he'll. If any of you know this guy, he'll probably wait till the last week and be like, oh, okay, I got it.
If the deadline is Friday,
The deadline,
done
it'll be
Friday.
done Friday at
It'll come
11.
Saturday at
Friday.
12:02. It'll come Saturday at 12:02 a.m.
That's all right though, man. That's all
you
Yeah,
know,
right.
it
it'd
gets
be
it
like that,
done.
you know, and that's just the way it is. Again, we all have our day jobs, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we just where we balance this and we make it happen with the tenacity and the effort to want to do it for the love of it, right?
That's it.
I don't
man.
have to do this.
No.
You know what I mean? Nothing that I gain from it. Again, I just want to show my film.
Yeah.
That's really what I want to do. I just want my homies to perform.
It's kind of a good, like, that's almost exactly, I don't have to do this. I really, I don't, but I like
But you
doing
do
it.
and
And I like having these type of conversations, man. I like it. It feeds me. You know what I mean? It inspires me,
Yeah.
you know, to hear your story and to hear your story and to hear your grind and to hear your hustle. I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Now when you walk away from here, I'm gonna go, fucking hey, I know what Ruben's doing on that other side of that shit. I know what Hyman's doing on that shit. I know that there may be fucking painting a fucking airplane right now, but he's thinking about the next shirt designer. That's just the way it goes. You know what I'm saying? So
I was like, today, when he told me he was doing the podcast, he calls me up and like,
I think I asked him, "You want to bring somebody?"
Yeah, you did.
you know,
but I knew that, you know, because I knew he was gonna be at the event. So I'm like, it's perfect, right? Why
Yeah.
not? You know?
Yeah.
you know, we always talk about everything, and he calls me, he's like, hey, so on Thursday, and I was like, I don't even want to hear about Thursday. I got this going on. I'm like, I don't even want to fucking hear it. And he's like, oh, I don't even trip. So he tells me, he's like, oh yeah, I'm being on Throttle Roots and blah 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 blah. I was like, oh hell yeah, that's dope. I was like, I thought you like needed something from me, like to help you with something. And then he calls me back later and he's like, hey, you want to come on Throttle Roots podcast with me? And I was like, what time
I like
here?
made the suspense. You know what I mean?
I did a photo shoot for Solon today at 12 o'clock in Long Beach. After that, I was out in, where'd I go? Little Tokyo with a couple of the homies doing another photo shoot at 2 o'clock. Then I had to run back home to Torrance, and then I had to go to his house in Gardena, and then now we're out here.
Yeah.
But
On the move,
I wouldn't
homeboys.
do it if I didn't fucking love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have to do all that shit today.
absolutely, man.
You know, and you know, we, like you said, we didn't have to drive 2 hours to be out here, but
Yeah,
you know,
you like
it's
doing it. You want to do
Yeah.
it. It's fucking want to support homeboy and
networking
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Networking.
absolutely, man. So I thank you guys for coming down, man. We're actually creeping up on the 2 hour mark, believe it or not, man. The shit goes, it
Fuck.
rolls
You guys
pretty quick,
talk too
man.
much,
Yeah,
man.
no, it's
Yeah.
shit. If you don't cut me off, I'll keep you here all damn night and shit, man. It's just the way it rolls. So,
Fuck yeah.
but let's wrap it up, man. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that you guys got to ride home. You know, you got to drive home. You got to work tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
know we are like, yeah, with that 9 to 5.
I'm blessed to be working from home.
Oh, good for you, man. Good for
So I
you.
work from home for that 9 to 5. I'll be starting to go to the office as of next week, 3 times out of the week.
Oh, boo hoo.
But for the last 3 years, I've been lucky enough to be working from home. So like that kind of shit is over a little bit. But this is the last week of it. So luckily I don't have to work.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Count your blessings.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You have a job.
He's
you know?
grinding though. He's grinding. I start work at 5 o'clock in the morning, and me and him are already texting.
I'm already up at 5 in the
Yeah.
morning, just
Yeah.
grinding out like edits for like the side business and stuff like that. Which is the Luna Vision. So
You fucking sound just. I mean, we're identical in that sense, man. Because in our group chat with Danny and Joe, It's fucking whoever's up first. Hey, fuckers! Like it's
You-
I wake up to 4 messages. I'm like,
I'll get the text.
You up? You up?
I am now 4:00 in the morning.
yeah, that's the grind mentality, man. You're always
Yeah.
just kind of keep looking out for the boys, saying what's up, keeping communication. But if you're trying to grow, man, you're constantly in communication with each other, man. That's what the fuck you do.
Hell
So.
yeah.
But I want to make sure that people know where they can get a hold of you and how they can kind of reach you in different places. So, Ruben, where can everybody get a hold of you at?
So Strive for Glory, STRIVE.4, like the number, .glory, GLORY, on Instagram. We're on TikTok as well. Catch us on Facebook.
Okay.
So
Is there a website?
yes, striveforglory.com.
Striveforglory.com. Okay. And can so people purchase directly from you through the website? How does that, or just shows? How does
The website and shows. And
the
stuff.
website
Yeah.
and shows? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So go check out his clothing line. I know my wife was like, "Is he coming today?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Do you think he could bring me this sweater?" And she went to your website actually. And she goes, "It says he only has like one or something." I don't know, whatever. I don't know how she found out or whatever it is, but she's like, I'm like, I'll hit him up, see what's up, man. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing
No
that
problem.
down for her, man. I'll take care of you for it, man. That's what we do. So, but strive the number 4 .glory on Instagram.
Yeah.
On Facebook, it's strive for glory. And
yes.
then the website is just
Striveforglory,
striveforglory.com. And then people can message you, get information from you on Instagram, whatever it is
Yep.
they need. So go follow him, go follow Strive. And then is there another one for your modeling career? Is there?
If you want to see all of Jaime's pictures and Rocky Shoots' pictures of me, you can check me out at Reckless Ruben RSG. So
Okay.
reckless.ruben RUBEN.RSG.
Okay. Dope, man. Yeah, because Jaime puts out some good pictures of him. Makes you look like a stud, huh?
Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, you're so photogenic." I was like, "No, I just got fucking badass photographer."
Fair enough. Credit where
But-
credit's due.
He does not Photoshop and make people look like they don't.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what he does, what you get is what you get. with
Yeah,
it.
there's
Real is
technique to
real.
it, there's technique to it, man. So, and Jaime, where can people kind of follow or get a hold of you?
Pretty much I have my Instagram page. I don't have a website or anything like that. So just lunavision.co
Okay.
is pretty much where you can see most of like my work. I would consider it like kind of like my portfolio per se, where you anybody who like wants to know about me, I just be like, all right, you guys see these videos. If you like what you see, let me know.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's what you need, man.
and
Share
that's
your
it.
shit.
Right. And then I have like a little kind of fun page. It's HD Harley Davidson dot Lunavision.
Okay.
So that one I pretty much post anything related to like my motorcycle build,
there you go.
any rides that I did,
GoPro.
just like for Westside Collective,
Oh yeah, Tony.
that those guys right there, I'll be,
people.
I just recently did a video with them and stuff like that, just promoting their rides that are coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they're going to be doing the ride with you, or like you guys are kind of coordinating.
Yeah,
something.
they're going to come down. Tony's putting together a ride to come down here for this Saturday. They're
Right.
bringing some people from over there this way. And then the following week on the 11th, next Saturday, Tony Westside Motorcycle Collective is putting on an event. They're putting their first event together at Roland Sands.
Yeah.
They got linked up with Roland Sands, and he was like, "Hey man, would love to have you down." And again, full circle goes back to like, we
Yep.
want to support, man. And if we can do that and we can be there and we will add and be of value to your event, then we want to be there. We don't want to,
most def.
we don't want to take away. We don't want to do it. We want to be of value to you. And he's like, "Fuck yeah, man. Would you come down?" And I'm like, "You want us to bring the podcast shit, like do a little like podcast in there?" And he's like,
Fuck
"Fucking
yeah.
hey, yeah, dude." So I get excited and I get fired up when people like want to have that out there. It was weird for me, man. That'd be like you want to know a quick little story? The very
up?
first time I did, I think it was the second podcast I did with this shit. Joe, who's actually, my buddy, they did a bike night. We host a bike night over here every third Tuesday now. And
Okay.
last year was his March was his first bike night. And he hit me up and he's like, hey man, you want to come out and do a little like fucking hang out, set up a little booth and stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I'm down for that, man. He's like, what do you think? Maybe you want to do a little like podcast or anything from there? And I'm like, oh, that's weird, but yeah, I guess. So my second fucking podcast, dude, like was in a parking lot in a fucking 10x10. I think that one right there, in a 10x10 in a parking lot of a restaurant that we throw a bike night at. And it was, you want to talk about weird for me, man. I was like podcast number 2 and I was sitting at a table with people looking at me, staring at us like live in front of people.
Shit.
And I was like, this is fucking weird. No, who the fucking wants to see this, or who wants to, like, this is, why am I doing this type shit, you know? And it was very, very awkward. It was very weird for me, but you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. Yeah, you have to fucking do that, man. So after that though, man, I realized after I got over it feeling weird for me, you know, you kind of reflect and you go back, and I remember people would come to me, hey man, that was pretty cool that you did that. Or they listened to, you know, I didn't have a giant following there, and but that people listened to, and they're like, that was pretty cool, man. Like, yeah, I saw your setup, or I saw a video that you posted of your shit on the table and you were out there podcasting. And I'm like, oh, I guess people are perceptive to it, and they're kind of like dig what it is, you know? Yeah. And so it gave me a little bit of like, oh, okay, then I'll go do. Motivation. And I mean, that was like when I first started the podcast and I did that bike night, I'm thinking, well, maybe fucking one day I'll be at like Live Fast Rally. Maybe I can do that or something. I can be like a big event and do, and fucking 4 months later, I was at fucking Live Fast Rally doing it like this. And it was still a little weird, I'm not going to lie. But now it's even another level. We took it to an even weirder level for me just at Chopper Fest. We like elevated the weirdness level for me. We same thing. And then a buddy of ours, a very good friend of ours that has helped us, Roberto. He had DJ set up and shit. And he's got those big giant fucking speakers and shit. And I was looking on my board. I'm like, hey, you can plug speakers into this motherfucker. And so we're like, hey, what do you think, man? And I was thought, that's fucking weird, but I'll get down with it, man. So at Chopper Fest, that's what we did. We set up fucking 2 speakers.
So people were able to listen.
And now people were able to hear us within a certain shot, like within us. And it was cool. It did what we kind of talked about it would do, which is just kind of draw people in a little bit and get them to come and see like, what the fuck's going on over there type thing, you know?
Squeaky wheel gets attention.
That's it, man. And it definitely was an eye opener because I think it was my very first guest that I had that day. One of her friends said, I thought I heard your voice from like she's all, what the, and then she's all, I looked and she's all, I heard that, I thought I heard you, and then it was you. And I was like, I guess there's a little something here, you know, with that kind of setup. But it was weird, man. It was a little awkward and shit.
That's bad. That's a dope as evolution, right?
Yeah,
that you just explained there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and what it's going to be, and what it's like. The possibilities are endless at this point. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's my best advice now. Get uncomfortable to get comfortable.
Like I said, this guy shot me the first time in
it's uncomfortable.
Alley, and now I'm doing stuff with Stolen Clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that wasn't where
that wasn't the plan. That wasn't,
you know what I mean?
Book.
It just fucking happened. And,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here, man.
And I remember him taking pictures of me before, and he was like, those are fucking trash. We're never letting those out. You know, because he's all, you're not comfortable.
Yeah. And that's right. And it'll probably show in a picture. It'll probably show in that way. So, but good shit, boys. I thank you guys very much, Ruben, for coming down, Jaime for coming down, man. Tell everyone the same thing, man. Once you hear your family, like it or not, you know, you guys are kind of locked in for family here at Throttle Roots. So anything that I can share, you know, please tag us, you know, and we'll share it when we can. You know, when what we can. I want to share your show. I want to share Strive for Glory when you got, whether it's a sale going on, you're going to be at an event, whatever way we can kind of help promote and tell people about Strive for Glory and Luna Vision. Unfortunately, he's booked, but you know, we'll find some. That's the point. When we support, then we're going to eventually, we're going to feed you enough shit here, man, where we're going to pull you away from that 9 to 5.
That's why you got to show up at the shows that he's at, because then you might get a Luna Vision picture.
That's
you
it,
might
man.
end up in a Luna Vision video.
I'm going to be making some opportunity to like get, you know, some work in, you know, on a monthly basis, on a one-off basis and stuff like that. Because like, again, I do it just because I like it, you know what I mean? So, you know, there's opportunities where, like I said, for that Westside Collective, you know, I didn't charge her for anything like that, you know what I mean? It was just something I wanted to do, you know what I mean? Like, why not? You know what I mean? they're in that little scene. I have the video, so I threw on their logo on it, and we made something a cool ass video out of it. You know what I mean?
Dope,
I
man.
believe they're releasing that hoodie soon. You know what I mean? So it's like fucking perfect. And then now they're affiliated with you guys and running around with you guys. So it's just, I like how everything kind of goes full circle. So that's pretty badass. So shout out to them. Shout out to fucking TM Law. Shout out to you, and shout out
Me
to my
and
boy, man.
Bianca.
Yeah, everybody, man. We win
Fuck yeah.
together, man. We win
That's it.
together, man. We rise together and shit. So, well, gentlemen, I will let you guys get home. Thank you again
Yes,
for
sir.
making the drive down, coming down and hanging out.
For having us.
Does mean a lot to me. You know, I used to think, well, who's going to want to come down here and talk to me and hang out with me and shit. But having dudes like you make a little bit of a drive on a weekday and shit like that, man, it's humbling. It's appreciative. And again, it just keeps a fire lit under my ass to go and like keep talking to cool people, spreading their story and
Oh, yeah.
inspiring myself as well, man.
Thank you,
So
man.
thank you guys. You guys get home safe,
Hell yeah.
please. All right. And I will see you Saturday.
Yeah.
And I will see you Saturday
Yes,
as
sir.
well. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, homeboys. Later.
All right, brother.
All right.
Later, Jaime.
Peace out, man.
Later, no. All right, later, dudes. Let's see who was on here talking more crap to you.